What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Man, talk nice to me, baby. You already know. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo.
You celebrate?
Sort of, kind of, not really. What about yourself, though, man?
No, yeah, I didn't do too much. I was just trying to build up my Madden team back again.
The one that you got banned for, right?
Yeah, this is the rebuild. And trust me, I held to my word. I'm not emailing EA. I'm not saying give me my old team back. This is a straight rebuild.
Are we trusting? So we're gonna trust the process. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trusting the process here. I think I got a new workaround.
All right.
That the banning won't happen again. But yeah, that's what I did yesterday. So I guess that is a little bit of a celebration.
Okay. Well, for me, man, let's see. What did I do? Oh, I had daddy-daughter time, bro. So I took my little one, my middle girl, going to get her new glasses. That was cool. It turned into an impromptu, like, shopping spree. So she was like, Dad, you're awesome. I felt good about that. It made me feel strong. Then my oldest daughter, she's like, yo, Dad, let's get some hoops work in. So I take her. We get a little workout. I'm like, all right. It's a vibe. Then I end the night little Casamigos to celebrate because it is Cinco de Mayo. So after that, man, it was just a good vibe. And then I went to sleep. I woke up. I threw my nice little Cinco de Mayo themed hat on since we ain't doing the recording yesterday.
Oh,
it's like, you know, let me throw a little something on. So yeah, man, it was good.
That's dope.
It was good. But I like your hat though, man. We were talking about yours a little bit before we got on.
Yeah, I got some nice golf hats over the weekend for this golf trip. So this was one of them I picked up down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the string look. So
that's the thing that they got me.
It's a vibe.
It makes it pop, bro.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting somebody in the comment section. They're asking about. They said you need to explain your last tweet. Did you have a tweet there?
My tweet.
Whoa! What's going on here? Do share with the class.
I didn't know there needed any explanation. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory.
See, I was unaware of said tweet. I just see. I look in the comment section and it's shout out to Luke. You know Luke. That's the guy that he had the 49ers draft pick drop on us and everything.
This is the same guy.
Yeah, the same person right here. He says, yo, you got some explaining to do with your last tweet. Deke, the people need answers, man.
Did you see it?
I did not. I'm excited.
I'll pull it up for you. Wait, I'm not logged into the Wi-Fi. Hold on. Let me retry.
No.
If not, I'll just tell you. All right, here it is.
Here we go now. I gotta see this. Yo, I did see that too. I didn't know that was like recent.
Yeah. That was my last tweet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know what we're talking about, because I wasn't privy to this information until just now, my man Deke, he had a cool little tweet that he put out, and he says it's simple math. Our number 7, in terms of Ben Roethlisberger, is greater than Green Bay Packers number 12, A.A. Ron, Aaron Rodgers. That's what Deke said. So you know how we do this in the comment section. If you feel that Big Ben is better than Aaron Rodgers, just let us know. So then that way we can settle this once and for all. But it's all good. I like the graphic though. I did see this. And so I saw that smile. I said, that's my dog right there. He's staying true. That's big Deke energy right there, man.
Yeah, I'll keep it simple right now. I could probably get more in depth. Maybe I'll make my own YouTube video about this. But Ben's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 2. Rodgers has 1. I don't know what the number of NFC versus AFC championships is. I think it's got to be close. Ben's probably like 4 or 5. Rodgers is around 4 or 5.
Yeah. Because he's been to what? 2 recently? 2 within the past 4 years?
Who? Rodgers? Yeah.
2 in the past 4 years.
He's been to the last 2.
And then he obviously had the one where he won the Super Bowl. So that's at least 3, yeah.
Ben's rookie year against the Patriots, we had like 3 to the ones that he went to the Super Bowl, then the other one against the Patriots. So he's around 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. So pretty equal there. Simple math though, in terms of, like I said, Ben's got 2 Super Bowl rings. Rodgers only has 1. Sure, Rodgers does the stat padding and all that type of stuff. I'm just telling you this, dude. Like, Ben's had to deal with a really shitty offensive line. Go ahead.
It's Aaron Rodgers stat padding. Everybody talks about him not having weapons. How's he stat padding, man?
I don't know. I'm not talking about him not having weapons. I think he has had weapons. Yeah. I think that's completely overblown. No, it's fine, dude. If you want the stats, if you just want the guy that's going to be getting these MVPs in the regular season, but when it really comes down to it,
does he have a Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, he does.
I was just checking.
It's fine, dude. I get it. Ben should have won Super Bowl MVP3 and Super Bowl 43, but it's cool. I'm not going to get into that too much because I like that Holmes got it. I did like it.
And Holmes was a guest of the show. Ben hasn't come on the show just yet, but Holmes has. So if you want to check out Santonio Holmes' interview, Super Bowl MVP, where you're featured on it, you're giving good questions.
They weren't bad, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
I should have just asked him straight up. Should
You
Ben have
should
got
have.
the MVP?
You should have. But that was small Deke energy back then, man.
That
you was nervous.
That
you were
was.
timid.
Yeah, I didn't know how Holmes would respond. I wanted him to like me. That's all.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I got some of my childhood heroes on here, like Bo Cowher. I'm just like, that was probably the one I was most nervous for. I'm just like, I want Cowher to like me,
Yeah,
man.
you were. That was funny. It was a vibe. That was good. And remember, he apologized because we initially tried to call him, and wasn't he on the phone with someone?
Yeah.
He was like, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yo, you're Bill Cowher. You don't apologize to anybody that's calling you from our number, all right? You're good. We're sorry that we called you at a bad time.
Sure, you want the stats, you want all that type of stuff. Go ahead, take Rodgers. But I want a guy with the game on the line, the leader of my football team. I'm taking Ben over Aaron
Ryan don't
Rodgers.
give us that in the clutch, though. He don't got that clutch it factor last 2 minutes making it happen.
Actually, the stats are really bad for him in that department. I'm not going to bring that up because
Yeah.
Rodgers is still great. I still like Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I'm just taking Ben over him.
Okay. So if you were ranking your top three, is it Brady, Ben, Rodgers? Is that what you're saying?
I can't say that.
What would you say?
Listen.
I'm just curious because we're going to get to these comments.
Are people just calling me out? Are they trying to expose me?
Listen, man, you are dominating the chat right now. I've never seen the first way. We're 6 minutes into the show. I've never seen this much chatter the first 6 minutes of the show like we got right now, Deke. All because of you. This is what you bring to the table, Deke.
I feel like my tweets should have blown up more if that's the case. Jeez.
Listen, we'll just give a quick little rundown of some of the tweets we're getting right here. Are you ready? So, come on, Deke. Ben is great, but Aaron is from another planet. Shout out to Brian. He loves your attire. He says Deke is going to Hawaii. Then we got Jar says Deke wildin', but I love Ben too. So he gives you the little, it's all love sign. It's good. Deke straight tripping. Aaron Rodgers got the double greater than sign. Like he's greater than. Like not even just one time.
This is sad, man.
Jay Awesome says I love Ben, but nah. Then Thomas. Here we go, Thomas. LMAO, Deke, crying emoji. Gotta love the energy. This is big Deke energy, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Deke that we all came to love right here. Got the taco meat showing. Boop. Got the nice attire on like he always does. And when he gives a statement, he double downs on it. He means it. He doesn't just say it for giggles. No. You mean it and you say it with conviction.
I do actually
passion.
really mean this. If I want a quarterback game on the line or I have one season left in my life, whatever, I want Ben over Rodgers. I just do. I think Rodgers has been a little bit overhyped by the media. Wow. Puts up these stats. And I'm just telling you, dude, we've seen it too many in some of these playoff performances. And it just feels like he gives up a little bit sometimes.
I just want to raise my hand. I got a question for the class. All right, we're talking about stat padding. We're talking about putting up numbers in games where it's, pretty much decided. Can't that same thing be said about Penn's performance this year? You bring up his statistics in that game a lot, but we all would agree that towards the end, it was just stat padding. It really wasn't impactful.
I'm not talking about those stats in terms of his overall legacy. I'm talking about we're talking about the Cleveland wildcard game this last year. Mm-hmm. The only reason I bring those stats up is I'm trying to prove that Ben still has it left in the tank. I'm not talking about for legacy or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Last year, in terms of legacy, I think his 33 touchdowns, 10 picks, considering we had the worst running game, offensive line not too good, I think that's something to add to his resume. Not necessarily that Cleveland game.
But can't the same be seen for Rodgers, though? Like, Rodgers was playing games where he had wide receivers at running back.
Not this past year. Yeah, dude.
He's done that multiple times. Like
he has done that. That's fine. Ben's got 2 rings. Rodgers has 1. Ben's been to 3 Super Bowls.
Now, my question is this, though. Does 2 rings, but his 1 ring plus Super Bowl MVP, doesn't that kind of either balance out or weigh more? Because the Super Bowl MVP means you were actually the best player in that game, not just a part of the best team in that game. Because right now, he technically doesn't have regular season or postseason, whereas we've seen with Rodgers recently and in the past him do both. I'm a 7 guy as well, but with this type of statement, I just feel like I'm kind of torn right here.
There's more to it than meets the eye. If you just want to look at the stats or the MVPs and all that's fine. You could do that. But
here we go. Quick question right here to you.
Go ahead.
So Myron Bennett says this: the A-Rod would be an upgrade to this offense. Do you agree with that statement? In 2021, if Aaron Rodgers was our quarterback, will we finish with a better record than if Ben was our quarterback?
I disagree. I don't think there's anything Rodgers did last year that was more than what Ben did. Outside of some of his little, he does have a little bit more mobility still. But in terms of the throws that he makes, I don't think there was anything that he did that I didn't see Ben make last year.
Okay.
I'm just telling you how I see it, man.
Okay.
Dude,
who won the MVP last year? I don't even remember.
I understand Rodgers won the MVP, but it still came down to, dude, like, dude, I don't know. There's just something about his game whenever it gets late in the playoffs and stuff. Like, I don't trust him, or like I just feel like he'll just give up on offenses. Like we're even seeing it right now. A lot of finger pointing. I think with Aaron Rodgers, a lot of passive aggressiveness.
This is true.
I don't like that.
This is true. He is very, very passive aggressive. Well, actually, would you call this passive aggressive though? Because I feel like this is kind of like the opposite of passive aggressive. He hasn't
said anything. I mean, he hasn't come out and said anything.
Right. But
he's using all these different sources, going all these different which ways. It's if you just want out, that's fine. But I think there's been more of that throughout his career than what we're seeing right now. If anything, you're right. This is probably the most
the most aggressive we've seen him.
Exactly. But yeah, it's always just not Rodgers. I'll put it that way. Always throughout his career, he's never the blame.
I mean,
never.
He does a lot. But how many times has technically been to blame? Because last year would have probably been the best year for him to get blamed. And what did we eventually do? It became O-line and running game.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
Throughout the regular season, and maybe even some of those last games, I think you could point to that more. But no, well, here's the thing. The Bills game, I would say that was on him because he threw that pick right before halftime. And then the Browns game, he didn't have a good game. Like, he did cost us in the first half. He was part of the reason that they went up, but he wasn't the full part of the reason. But that's what everyone wants to talk about.
I'm with you.
That's why everyone wants to point to, like, oh, Ben's washed. It's like, no, not really.
I'm with you on everything that you're saying when it pertains to that part. I get lost when you start saying, well, that's what makes him better than Rodgers, who's coming off an MVP season. He just won the MVP. Like, you saw what he did. That's the part where you lose me.
Here's my other point. What does it ultimately mean whenever I'm telling you comes down to the NFC Championship game? I'd just rather have Brady over Rodgers. What does MVP really mean?
Well, when you say Brady over Rodgers, people look at Brady as the best guy because he has all the hardware, all the rings.
Yeah, but people weren't saying that coming in the NFC Championship game.
But all I'm saying is Brady has all that hardware. In fact, what did people also say? You don't bet against Brady in big games. That's the other thing they said. They say you don't bet against him and you don't bet against Mahomes. And then we said, well, what happens when you go against each other? Well, you fall on the side of the GOAT in terms of Brady, unless you don't feel like he's the GOAT either.
Listen, dude. Listen. I'm at a crossroads with this, really. Because I've always said Ben was the GOAT. Always. And I've always hung my hat on that he still has a career left. And I still think he could surpass certain players out there. So I'm just going to keep doing that. He still has a career left. Maybe I'll adjust my rankings or whatever. I'll look back on that once everyone's career's over. But yeah, Ben's my favorite player. He's still got more seasons left. And if I believe he's the GOAT, I think he's going to come through.
Listen, I enjoy 7. I told you.
But listen, I like Brady.
I'm forever indebted to 7. I tell people all the time. That's why I would always laugh whenever we would talk about 7 early on, and we're having a debate, and they're like, "Oh, you hate 7?" I'm like, no. It's the alternative. I actually love the dude. Like, it's the best thing that ever happened when I came here to Pittsburgh, and largely because of him being able to do what he does. It made our life easy on defense, baby. It makes guys that, hey, even though we weren't elite defensively, man, you kind of pull us along with you every once in a while. We appreciate you. We got you back, when you need us every once in a while. We got one good play in us. That was the vibe. It was good. But when you start talking like this, and you compare Ben to Rodgers, Ben to Brady, I'm just like, Lord, why you got to do that? Because now I feel like I got to talk bad about the guy, and I like the guy a lot.
We don't have to say the Ben Brady thing because I get the Brady. Trust me. He's just my favorite player, dude. I've always said he's the GOAT. Like, why switch now? Why would I do that?
Because now it's documented a lot more. People can go and point to it.
That's the problem. But I'm just trying to keep that same energy I've always had. That's kind of my point.
Big energy though, right?
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
That's definitely big Deke.
So let's wait and see how Ben's career keeps on playing out here, and then maybe who knows? We'll reassess potentially.
I'm with it.
How about that? But no, in terms of Ben versus Rodgers, I'm like, I'm taking Ben over Rodgers. I just am.
Okay.
One game on my like the reason Ben's stats aren't as good too. Here's a way to look at it, dude. He's been hurt a lot. He's been hurt a lot.
Before you go, I love how every time you about to get on your Ben high horse, your soapbox, you have like a list of this is why or asterisk next to this. It's never just a blanket. Oh, this guy's the best. And look at it. It's that simple.
Well, if you're gonna ask
it was
me,
because this player was out, but don't forget this situation right here, and we got this over here. Like,
I feel like I gotta bring stuff up because that's what I tweeted. I just said, hey, Ben over Rodgers. I would take Ben over Rodgers. That is my blanket statement. When people come back with certain things, I guess you got to give your rebuttal. That's all. Because just in a vacuum, it does come down to as simple as this: one game, life on the line, one season left, my life on the line, whatever it is. I'd rather have Ben as my quarterback than Rodgers. That's it. It's as simple as that.
And you said your life is on the line?
Yeah, I would. No.
I'm sorry. It's all good. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. It's all good. I mean, I'm not with you, but I support your thoughts. Right. I support your beliefs.
I'm actually surprised about this because
I am too.
I guarantee you. Hold on, no, I'm being serious. Yeah. I guarantee you, if I tweet that out last offseason, everyone's on my side with that. But
it was during the time too, yeah.
What time? What do you mean?
You talking about for Ben, right?
I'm just saying last offseason after Rodgers' 2019 season coming into this one, I guarantee you everyone would agree with me. It's just because he won the MVP this year.
I don't think they would agree. I think Still Nation would have been hyped because 7 was coming back from injury. But I don't necessarily think that anybody in the past 5 years.
Let's even crank it back to 2018.
That's what I'm saying. The past 5 years, do you think it's been a year where they're like, yo, for a fact, Ben has been better than Rodgers? Because me personally, I've never heard that in this past 10 years. I've never heard that.
Oh, not from me.
Brady, I've heard it. Brady and Rodgers, I've heard it where it was Brady, Drew Brees, Rodgers. I've heard those 3 guys constantly in that mix. And then you threw Mahomes in the mix. And then for a little while, Deshaun Watson was up in that conversation. And Ben was always how people viewed him in that 5th range. And some people even debate he wasn't even top 5, where that's where my disagreement was. Because I said, I feel like he's always been top 5, but it's hard for him to crack top 3 because these guys have been just crazy. That's my bet.
What I'm saying though is after that 2019 season, Rodgers had that supposed down year. That's when they draft Jordan Love.
Even on his but you saw his down year was still better than how many other great years. Like, he was a beast, bro.
No, he was fine. That's what I'm saying. I have nothing against Rodgers. I'm just saying I take Ben over him. But leading up to that 2019 season where Ben got hurt, all the way up to 2018, you got to think that stretch of 2013, 2014 to 2018, Ben was putting up crazy numbers.
No, he was.
Crazy numbers.
Killer B area. Absolutely. He was going nuts. I loved it.
And that's what I mean. They would have been so much better had he not got hurt in some of those stretches. Like, they would have been crazy. AB would have had over 2,000 yards too.
Oh yeah.
That one season,
was that 15 or 16.
One of those years, he had 1,800, and Ben missed 4 games.
Yeah, that was 15. That was the Landry Jones, Mike Vick year. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that was a crazy time. AB was going nuts that
year. Oh, it was absurd.
I missed that.
Like there was 2 or 3 games where he was just non-existent. I think when it was either Vick or Jones in, which just hurt his receiving total. It would have been crazy.
Hey, this was a good little impromptu combo right here, man. I like this.
I was actually surprised a lot of people hated that tweet. I was surprised. I thought people would get riled up.
Yeah, man, I'm surprised by that as well, man. All these people in the comment section talking bad about
cool,
you, man.
I would have tweeted this out 10 years ago. I would have tweeted out 5 years ago. I tweet it now. So that's all.
Now, and this is the other thing I wanted to see. I would just get your feelings on this because I keep seeing people bring up the Super Bowl conversation. They're like, well, you brought up Brady Super Bowls. Does that mean he's the greatest? Why don't you bring up Super Bowls for everyone else? I don't just bring up Super Bowls. He just brings up Super Bowls. I bring up Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVPs, regular season MVPs, passing titles, crazy yards, touchdown, interception ratio. I bring it all up. Right here it says Ben has the 2 Super Bowls. That's what he said.
Brady's the flaw in all my arguments. Yeah. Brady's the flaw because, like, objectively, it's really hard to go against what Brady's done.
If you can explain to me, any of y'all in the chat, why Brady isn't the best,
that's why I'm just not even going to have the discussion. Ben's just my favorite player, so that's it.
That's where I fall at. I'm like, I love Ben over those guys. Ben is my quarterback. But yeah.
And I like Brady too, so that's why I'm not even going to do this. But yeah.
You're not allowed to like Brady. It's still a nation. You can't like.
But against any other quarterback, I think Ben's up there, man. I think Ben's up there. You could have this conversation for sure.
I feel like he's still. I'm with you. Not to the full extent, but like I said, I'm with you. I'm like in the sidecar. You know what I mean? Like I'm driving. I'm not in the car with you, but I'm driving next to you.
You're having a good time.
Yeah. I'm vibing. I can hear your music. We at the stoplight. You know, you at the stoplight during the summer, and you like we're here right now. I'm not in there with you, but like I'm vibing with you, baby. I'm picking up with you.
Does anyone agree with me? Does one person agree with me in there?
Here we go right here. Chris Rankin.
Please tell me.
Totally with Deke. Boom. There we go.
Thank you.
And then Call Me K just says his rings were cheated for, not my GOAT. All right.
Brady.
So there we go. There we go. All right. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
I mean,
we don't have to worry about what the rest of these comments
that was something I hung my hat on until he went to Tampa Bay.
And
you know what I mean? Like,
no, I was with you too, bro.
It's like, because you could question those first three. You could question certain things about that
you
run.
Say, oh, was he cheating? Was it Spygate? Was it Deflategate? Was it Bill Belichick? Was it the Patriot way? But all of that literally went out the window with what he did last year in Tampa Bay with no offseason. That's the thing we forget. He didn't even have an offseason. It was just, all right, learn it on the fly. Get it and go. And he won a ring off of it in year one. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who was Super MVP? I don't remember.
Oh, man. I think it was Brady this last year. Gronk had 2 touchdowns.
AB had a touchdown.
AB had a touchdown. Yeah. Yeah.
They're calling you the Skip Bayless of the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way. I've seen this come up a couple times. I don't know if you've heard that.
Wait, what have I done to warrant that so far?
they just talk about you know how you feel, man. Your Ben takes, man. But it's good though.
Is this what I've become?
You're flirting with it. You're flirting with it.
I think I'm self-aware enough to laugh at myself, right? Like I laugh at myself about it.
Yes, as long as you own it, that's the big thing.
Yeah, I don't really. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I am what I am. I am what I am at this point.
I am what I am. I respect it, baby. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So now that we got
like Skip Bayless wouldn't just come out and say Jordan's my favorite player, so I'm just gonna say
he needs to say that.
Like he just wouldn't say that.
If he says, but. You know why he's not gonna say that, because then the edge dies to what it is right now. Right now, it's like, yo, does he really believe this? Like with conviction, versus just being, yo, that's his favorite player of all time, so he's always gonna be biased towards him. If he just came on and said that, I think we could all just kind of laugh it off, like, all right, Skip, you're cool. But sometimes we're wondering, like, Skip, do you need help? Like, are you good up here?
Well, and here's what I said earlier too. I mean, if Ben still got 3 or 4. No. He wins these next 3 or 4 more. Like, I don't want to be the guy that jumped off this. I'm the guy that's talking about. Hold
on. You said if Ben does what now?
If he wins the next 3 or 4 Super Bowls or something like that. I mean, come on. I want to be the guy ahead of the curve here.
I hope so. You would be legendary. You would be the new Myron Cope of like the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. That's what they would be calling you, the new Myron Cope.
Wow.
You could just come out with like big Deke energy towels and hats and stuff. We'll be swinging those instead of the terrible towel.
That's a lot of pressure.
No, it's not. It's only pressure if you can't believe if it can't happen. You know, you believe it's gonna happen. You believe that Seven is prepared for this. You believe we got the pieces in place, the staff.
We got some topics later on that might support this. So
all right. I'm excited though. It's all love. All right, so you ready to get into this first topic? That wasn't even supposed to be a topic. That just shout out to Luke.
So we had 2 people agree with me, or 1 person?
It was 2. It was a couple in there.
Okay.
Yes, people in there. It was just hard. You know how I tell you sometimes I go to look at the chat and it's because
it's
so
booming.
Flooded. Like
chat room was booming.
Yeah. You were featured though. You were definitely featured. If that's any consolation.
I wish I would have been more prepared for that.
Yeah. You were the man though.
Because that was the essence of my tweet. It was just more like, if there's a game tomorrow, I just want Ben over Rodgers. Yeah. But I probably could.
But see, you didn't put all that, did you? No. It's simple math.
Just simple math.
So Ben over Rodgers.
Yeah, if you want to.
If we want, it's a little vague.
No, it's just straight to the point here.
It's a little vague.
This is simple math.
Simple math. What type of math? Simple math.
Yeah.
Not the correct answer.
Algebra.
Oh man. I gotta refresh my algebra. Like, geez, I've never seen this. 7 is over. All right, cool.
Yeah, maybe this is what they should be teaching in schools.
Well, it is funny that we were talking about 7 on this impromptu conversation because somebody else had comments to make about, 7.
He didn't mention.
He didn't name drop, but if I were to simply say, I'm gonna enjoy being able to run block and not have to pass block 800 times. Yeah, I think that's a shot. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. Take a shot for the shot. Boom. We got to talk Big Al. And actually, he's no longer Big Al. He's Alejandro Villanueva now that he's officially signed with the Baltimore Ratbirds. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Al, 2 years, $14 million, $8 million guaranteed to go to the Baltimore Ravens. And he didn't just go. He did it in Al fashion. He did his interview. and he had some very interesting comments to make. Made a comment about, it's fun to plan an offense where we're going to be able to run block. There's something that he looks forward to doing. Probably not as fun for the wide receivers, and not going to be able to, go out here and get a lot of passes and do a lot of TikToks. That's his words, not my words. That's what he said. I don't make this up. You know me. I'm a Scout's honor, man of my word. That's what he said. You can play it. It's available anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Then he goes on to say, when you're having to pass block 800 times, that's just, it's not fun. And I agree. That's a lot. And now, granted, it was an exaggeration, but you can see what he was trying to imply with a certain individual. We're not gonna go there though. It's all good. And then
he was talking about Finkner, huh?
That's what it was. They're definitely talking about Randy. It had to be Randy. And then from there, he gives us just the last little coup de grace. Well, I get to play next to Zeitler, and playing with Zeitler is definitely gonna be an upgrade.
It's gonna be an upgrade.
It's gonna be a huge upgrade.
Well,
that's what he told me.
You sure he said play? I thought he meant like they were gonna be driving partners.
That's Lord.
So I think it even was. I think it was deeper than that.
Oh, it's personal.
I think it was.
Oh no, that's personal. That's the driving partner.
Yeah.
There's only one driving partner that he has. We know his driving partner.
Not anymore.
Hold on. Let people know the driving partner, please.
Well, I didn't even know about this until 2 days ago, to be honest with you. This just popped up because of his comment.
Yes.
But, yeah, I guess he drove into the facility with David DeCastro every day for his time here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. It was like a brotherhood. Like,
saving on gas.
You see them together. Like, that's how they pull up. You got you, bro.
That was a thing, though.
That's what they do. Like, yeah. No different than when Al was teaching Juju to drive. We knew, okay, you're going to see Juju.
Wait, this was a thing? Where was I
This was dead serious a thing.
Because I wasn't doing media coverage. That's the thing.
Yeah, this was like Juju's first year when
I
he was
just
still
showed up.
the bike.
I just show up and watch the games.
Yeah, remember when Juju was riding the bike, right?
Yeah,
Al was the one who taught him how to drive.
See, I didn't know that
he
at
would
all.
let him get in the pickup truck, the little F-150, drive that thing. And we would all be like, oh, Lord, Juju driving, get off the road. Like, that was
the F-150?
Yeah, here's a pickup.
Wait, so this
pickup truck guy, yeah.
These comments are hitting even more here.
Oh, yeah, that's what we said. I was like, yo, it's layered. But you saw, like, certain people respond.
That's three guys you assume, like, he was boys with them, huh? I always thought him and Ben were boys. I guess obviously DeCastro, they were driving partners, and he taught Juju how to drive.
Yeah,
he was in that one, the touchdown celebration at the beginning of the season. Like, with the Giants.
Yeah, he was a part of the TikTok.
He was one. Yeah, one of them. Someone put him on blast on Twitter. They were like, bro. "Hey Al, is this you?" It was Claypool doing like a TikTok interview with him.
I can't make it up, bro. So obviously, to my surprise, I was just like, man, Al typically doesn't talk in the media. We know he's a once or twice a year type of guy. But it was a little bit surprising to see those comments. But at the same time, it is what it is, right? I don't think it like knowing the relationships and stuff like that, just from a behind the scenes standpoint, nothing malicious or anything like that. And obviously, I like to joke about it to keep it lighthearted. But you expect this every once in a while. When you're going to another team, you do like to play into that fan base, that crowd, which he was doing a little bit. And obviously, if you're going to make the switch to a division rival, you might as well go all the way in. I mean, if you gonna do it, you might as well do it, baby, because we know it ain't no coming back right now. I mean, it's how it goes.
Well, yeah, that was one of his comments too, which shouldn't be a surprise, but it was as time went on because we were speculating, is Al actually going to come back? We haven't heard from him at all. But the Steelers told him like a week after the season ended, you're not coming back. But that was the initial report that we heard.
You're right. You're absolutely
right. But then since we didn't hear from Al, we didn't really hear about the Steelers on it. Because we weren't signing any left tackles,
and then
really.
What happened? The new thing was, is he gonna come back? Because I definitely remember.
It literally might have been the day after we lost.
No, seriously, it was because they were talking about him. They said with Pouncey was gonna be done, whether it was retirement or whatever. He wasn't coming back, and they said that Castro was the other guy to be watching for. And we saw what. Now you hear it full circle. Al definitely said that. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up.
He said that, and then the reporter, the next question was trying to like bait him into talking shit on the Steelers organization. It was like, do you think they like left you out to dry? Or did they do you wrong? And he was just like, no, it was like business. So there were opportunities for him to like really go at it. But some of the stuff that we were just joking about, I don't think it's like that big of a deal. If anything, I was talking to you about it. The interview was actually kind of interesting.
No, it was.
He was talking about his backstory and stuff.
And I mean, it was cool. Obviously, like, we know a lot of this because we were here for the process, but just him sharing the story about when he decided to go to Carnegie Mellon and his mindset.
He was just going to play 1 year.
Yeah, that's all he wanted. He just wanted to get into school. That was it. And it made sense. Like when we talked to him during that time, it made sense because you remember he was playing D end with the Eagles. We saw him in the preseason in 2014. Played him over there in was it Lincoln Field or whatever it is. And then from there, that's when we had brought him back and tried to switch him to offensive line. So for him, you got to think He's going from, I was cut from over here. I'm going to switch position to O-line over here.
Wasn't he a tight end initially in college?
He was a tight end wide receiver in college. Then obviously leaves to go serve. Then comes back playing DN. And now, you're going to ask, hey, come over here. You just got released. Switch positions. Yeah, for him, that made sense for that to be his mentality. A lot of us didn't think that he would last. And then we saw once Munchak got his hands on him, which he talks about Munchak a lot in that interview as well because of how impactful he was on his development. You could see him just continuing to get better. You could see him understanding that, okay, if I'm a bigger guy, I got to learn that trap move where he will smack a guy's hands down to ultimately stop the bull rush. It's a great counter. It's a great, just unorthodox. It's kind of like fighting a southpaw, right? You're used to this right hand, and then it's like, whoa, this is different. How do I respond to this? Like, that was dope to see him develop that. And then obviously he's went on and had the career that he's had. But still, it's like, dang, man, you ain't got to say it all. You don't got to say certain things like that. Man, I was over here having flashbacks. I'm like, between him, he done left and talk bad. Jesse James left and talk bad. Shoot, Nick Vanette wasn't even here that long. He left and talk bad. You got Emmanuel Sanders. Remember when he was like, man, it's best quite to play with. It's not even cold. I'm like, God, does everybody leave and talk crazy? Like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, it's sad.
Understand, bro.
Do you know what I was thinking though? It was kind of funny, his TikTok comment. Like, we were kind of thinking that during the season. Let's be real. We were like, this TikTok stuff's getting a little out of control. Especially when we were losing, at least.
Yes.
But
especially when we started losing. That changed everything.
Yeah. So actually, this is like a side story for this season. What's the TikTok stuff's gonna be like? Ooh. That's gonna be a side story.
Is Najee a TikToker? Do you know?
I don't think. I think it's just Claypool and Juju.
Okay. Deontay, right? Deontay.
No,
he doesn't TikTok?
No.
See, I don't follow it like that. I know you're a part of like that TikTok. You're like
I think it's just Juju and Claypool, honestly. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
Because there's other Steelers that get in on the videos and stuff. I mean, maybe Duck. I think he might have one, but
Duck isn't here
he's not here anymore. But I'm just trying to think of the people. That might be it. That honestly might have been it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was Juju and Claypool.
Huh. Well, it's gonna be real interesting to see if the TikToks continue then. Hey.
I think you're just playing with fire if you do it again.
Will we get the dance on the logo again? New year.
No,
it's a new year. It's a new year.
We gotta put that stuff aside.
Why? It's a new year.
I'm not against any of that, but it's just gonna bring way more publicity than we need.
It is.
It's gonna be way too much.
I'm toxic. I was part, like I said, that 2014, 17 range. Like, we were toxic. We danced. We social media. It was a bad time. So yeah.
But I feel like this is way bigger though. I mean, you had the AB Facebook Live, but no one ever thought like, oh, he's gonna keep doing that. In this case, it's really easy just to keep doing this TikTok stuff.
Absolutely, man.
I hope they don't, man. And it's not. I'm not coming from the standpoint of like, old guy, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you should do it. You should build your brand up as big as possible.
Build the brand.
I think just around that time on the football field, it does nothing to help. It does nothing to help. There's only going to be negatives that come out of it.
I agree. I definitely agree. But either way, you know how we do in the comment section, man. Let us know your thoughts on Al, man. Al not moving, but signing with the Ravens, man. Do you think this is a good move? Do you like it for the Ravens? I personally think it's a good move for us because he also said in the interview that he was going to be switching positions.
Right tackle.
He's going to be playing right tackle. To me, I like that, knowing who he's going to be facing when he plays the Pittsburgh Steelers. T.J. Watt. I love that.
Now, what do you think of him all of a sudden having this run blocking mentality?
That's the other thing I heard. I'm like, hold on. You keep talking, man.
Isn't his strength more pass blocking?
Absolutely.
So him going to the Ravens, maybe he thought this was like a hidden talent that he's had in his system for how long. He talked about blocking for Le'Veon Bell. Like, he loved blocking for Le'Veon Bell. So I don't know if maybe at this point in his career he could develop that again or bring that back, because that's the Ravens mentality and how they operate their offense.
Yeah, but for me,
we still passed the ball a ton with Bell.
We did. That's what I don't think he understands. Like, that offense in Baltimore, they run. Like, I remember like what me and him would complain about with our practices when we would have to do a lot of this run blocking and us on defense having to play the run. Which is like, bro, this is, I'm cool on this. This headache drill. I don't like the headache drill. He didn't like the headache drill either. I'm like, going to Baltimore every day is headache drill. Every practice is gonna be headache practice. Like, that's what it's gonna be. You might as well line up in front of your nearest cinder block, put your helmet on, mouthpiece in, and just headbutt it. Just keep headbutting it. That's what that drill is like when you're just playing to run all day. That's what they're gonna be doing. That's not fun. No one wants to do that. I hate playing to run.
Yeah, so that was interesting to me because based off his interview, I was like, man, I can't believe we let this dude go.
Yeah.
It looks like he's gonna be back to like Pro Bowl form the way he's talking.
Right.
So, from an X's and O's standpoint, do you think him moving to right tackle, him being more of a pass blocker than a run blocker, how does this make sense? Like outside of the outside of the theatrics, outside of the just the quotes and some of the good things he was saying from the interviews, like just from an X's and O's standpoint, I mean, I don't know.
I personally don't see how. Well, actually, I will take that back. I can see how he can be effective with it, but it's more so scheme related, not necessarily him just blowing guys off the ball. When you think about that style of offense, it's not your traditional quarterback under center type runs. Like you think Cleveland Browns, you think Tennessee Titans, where it's very predictable. We know exactly where the ball is going. It's just more so, are we man enough to stop you? With Cleveland, obviously in week 17 and in the wild card game, we just weren't man enough to stop them, regardless of what it may be, injuries and things like that. But that ultimately would have boiled down to when you're playing Baltimore, though. Now it becomes more the deception. It becomes more assignment football. It becomes more how do we account for the dive and Lamar Jackson. That's the part where you can have a guy like Al who might not be the best run blocker, but he can get in your way, and he's obviously has enough size to be effective that way. That's how they, the old linemen are able to really have success there, because when you're having to account for, all right, did he really give that thing, or am I supposed to be running over here, and Lamar's a threat to take us to the house, I can't tee off on this tackle the way I really want to. And that's the part where I think is going to benefit him. That's where you have heard old linemen talk about it being an easier scheme because of that right there. You never have to deal with the full charge, the full blunt of the bro, just because with that offense, you can't. If you do that, the misdirection, the fake here, oh, who has it? I don't know. That guy's he's going to hit his head on the goalpost. That's typically how it works. So that part will help him. But when you've seen the Ravens struggle is when they've had to become one-dimensional, where they've either had to stay in and really try to run this rock, right? Or they're really having to pass because they're behind. That's when they struggle. And ultimately, that's when Al's going to see that is not as fun as you think it is playing for that. And it's different when it's 7 back there, quarterback, in terms of how he drops, in terms of his release, in terms of the timing of it and things. Whereas Lamar, we know Lamar ain't getting rid of that ball in 2 seconds.
Well, yeah.
That's not what Lamar gonna do.
If they get down,
the
stuff that he was kind of lamenting or complaining about might come back and even worse in this type of system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if they're down 10 or 14 and then we've TJ Watt out there, or one of the Browns edge rushers, like just teeing off, like all they're going to do is pass. That could be bad for Al.
Absolutely. So to me, I think that this is a benefit for us. For the Ravens, I feel bad for you.
But what do you think of that TJ Al matchup then? Have you ever seen it in practice?
No, because typically Al has always been on that. So actually, no. I have seen it a little bit when this was before TJ and Bud switched. When TJ was still playing left, Bud was on the right side. Yeah. So with TJ, I mean, obviously he would have success, stuff like that, but he was just young. That was the thing. We haven't seen bona fide TJ versus Al, because when he became bona fide, that's when they had switched the sides. So that's my thing. And him versus Bud is so different stylistically in terms of Bud's rush style versus TJ's rush style. So I can't even picture how that's going to operate. But I just like the matchup for TJ because I know how TJ rushes. I know what he's able to do well, and I know what Al struggles with. So to me, I just think that this is going to be a good matchup for us, especially when it comes to them having to throw the ball, which I obviously like anyways. But then from there, I'm still just interested to see how Al does on the right side. It's a difference. Like, people struggle when they got a flip-flop side. There's a reason why right tackles are right tackles and left tackles are typically left tackles. So that's the part that I want to see. How is he going to operate on a 17-game basis at right tackle?
What are you thinking initially? Like, what's going to change completely for him?
Well, number one, the footwork of it. Number two, the style of rushes you're going against. Typically, you're more of your run block, your run stuffers, bigger body guys, because your stud passers typically go against the left tackle. We're different in Pittsburgh, whereas we'll have TJ going against that right tackle, a little bit different. But for the majority of the time, he's going to be dealing with the better run block or the better run defenders, which to me, I'm just like, that's what you struggle with. Like, it's no myth. Like, it's nothing new about it. Like, we know that's what you struggle with. So that's the part for me where I'm just kind of like, the money made sense, but I don't think the rest of he's thought through like that.
Okay. Yeah, they paid him a lot.
Yeah, they did, man.
Yeah.
They did.
So, but I guess that's in the ballpark range just because of how scarce some of these tackles are out there.
I mean, just think
that's something we weren't willing to pay, though.
Well, and
sure.
I said, if Banner got, 2 for $9?
Yeah, he got Banner 4 or 5 a year.
Banner got 2 for $9, 4 or 5 a year. Al is way more proven, way more decorated, way more experienced. That, lets you know kind of where the floor is with that.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. It's going to be an exciting matchup. This is just more fuel to the fire now.
It is, though,
dude, people are going to get amped for those matchups.
No question. Like, they're already amped in the chat right here. We got Bro High says, Al going to sabotage the Ravens run game for us. I'm with you. I agree. I appreciate you on that. Yes, indeed. Then he says, Zachary. Zachary says, he is the starter for the Ravens, and TJ is going to eat against him. I agree with that. Then he says, TJ will not be able to be blocked by him, period. I was like,
too bad he didn't take a shot at TJ. That's what we needed. We needed some internet beef between TJ and Al, because TJ would respond.
Oh, TJ definitely responds.
Maybe give that Jordan meme. I took it personally.
TJ got energy. I like he already dropped that, though. Remember, he dropped that
I know.
For the MVP.
Yeah, I guess you can't do that again.
So he's good, man. He's good. Let's see. I ain't gonna read that. We keep it clean. We keep it nice in here today. All right, but Brian shares our sentiment. He couldn't even run block last year when we tried to do it. I agree, man. I just don't think that's gonna help him out, man. Yeah, this is a bad situation for him, bro. Bad situation. And then the last,
if you listen to what he's saying, I mean, you could really fall into that, because he's making this sound like the most amazing move ever. And he's gonna be turning back the clock.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, we'll see. Because there was a lot of Ravens fans that were excited in like the comments. Like if you watched it on YouTube, the Ravens people were going off. They were loving this.
They were, man. Absolutely, but it's all good, man. They can love it as much as they want.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you could have this victory right now. We'll take it in the regular season.
Hey, it's that simple. But you know what else that we can do, man?
What's up?
Hold on.
Dude, you hear something? What?
Hold on, bro. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the people? We got an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, another episode is brought to you by Manscaped, and they just actually called me up. I had my little earpiece in, and they just exclusively just dropped this new Lawnmower 4.0. I mean, we saw the 3.0, right? We said the 3.0 was a bad mamma jamma, generational, but they just dropped the 4.0. Oh my God. And today, ladies and gentlemen, y'all are going to get a little reveal right on air just for y'all, because we care about y'all, and we know y'all care about us, and it's a whole new balls game, baby. That's what it is now. So let's just, while we over here, let's see how we turn.
Does it still have the light?
It has the light. We got to have the light because we're tactical. Yeah. It has the Manscaped. Apparently, I can turn the light off. Let me see if I can get this popping on camera real quick. I can turn the light off.
Damn.
Can I?
No, I'm good. I'm good right now.
Did I use it?
Because I'm.
No, it smells good. But ladies and gentlemen,
I might bring the beard back. So
if you do, just whenever you need a little trim on your trim, I got you, baby. New Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. You definitely want to get this. And as y'all already know, man, your delicate areas, your twins, the two dangling ones, they will thank you for that. Oh, and I almost forgot, Deke. It wouldn't be a read if we didn't have a promo code, right? We don't do anything without promo codes. So with
that's a demand of ours, huh?
Absolutely. Use the promo code Moats. Receive up to 20% off on all of your orders, along with free shipping. Love free shipping. Love promo codes. Love 20% off. So like I said, man, use the promo code Moats, and then that way you can take care of your delicate twins, baby. All right. So now you back to this regularly scheduled program. You ready, man?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So as we transition, man, let's talk a little O-line now, man. We done talked about my man Al. Or is he still our man, or is he like former man ops? I don't even know how we refer to him right now. He's just Alejandro right now. We're done talking about him. So now we're going to talk about what is our O-line going to look like in 2021 now. Does that mean we're going to be arrow pointed up? Or are we arrow pointed down right now, man? What you thinking right now off the top of your head, baby?
You know how I feel. I do think we can only get better. And as much as maybe we want to talk about that, our line was so bad last year and we lost some people, and the guys that we're replacing them with, there's a little bit of uncertainty. I like that uncertainty because we're going to have Dotson in as a full-time starter this year. I think he should have played more last year, and I think that contributed to why our line wasn't as good. DeCastro, now I'm just going to give you the positive spin on all this. I'll just be straight up with you here. DeCastro.
I love when you do this, man.
He's up there in age. But
we're going at his age now, too.
God, I can't be too positive.
He said I'm going to be positive. He's up there in age now.
He's up there in age. But It seemed like he was banged up a little bit earlier on in the season. We didn't hear any reports in the second half. Mm-hmm. But let's put two and two together. He might have been banged up a little bit. He was just having an off season. Because if the Steelers believed he was washed, wouldn't they have just cut him?
I mean, we talked
because there was a huge cap hit.
Dude, we said that was the biggest reason why.
I mean, they cut Steven Nelson, who we could still use right now.
No question. We would have said I think it was 13-14 million in terms of like that cap money, and at the time it was.
Well, we just would have signed even
important.
Matt Fowler.
Yeah,
too.
Seriously, we saw what Matt signed for. Was it 3
would have
for
saved
21
us like $7 million.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's still got some left in the tank, and he'll be better than what he was last year.
Now, before you keep going, we had somebody in the comment section ask, "Do you think DeCastro is on the hot seat this year?" This is from Call Me K.
He might retire after this year.
I didn't want to throw that out there, but I promise I was getting that same vibe. Like just seeing, I thought him and Al, honestly,
if he doesn't play good, I don't know.
I definitely was getting those same type of vibes. But when you think about DeCastro, he's one of those guys, man. Like he is so good at this game, but at the same time, I don't know if he has the same type of conviction that like Seven has. Like with Seven, we know Seven's gonna be that guy that like Brett Favre. Arm hanging off, leg dangling, and he's like, "Nah, I still want to come back." DeCastro doesn't give me that same type of vibe. So I do think that if he feels like his play declines and is like really declined, that he would much rather walk away than ever have to deal with the hard conversations of, are you going to come back, pay cuts, etc., and things like that.
But that's another reason to think that he still got some left in the tank, because wouldn't he have just maybe done that after this season?
I agree. Then? That's the part where I do agree with you, and I do think that we're going to see a better version of DeCastro. Trust me, man, knowing DeCastro, being around him, seeing how he operates, he wasn't happy with that performance that he was putting out there last year. He knows he's a lot better than that and way more consistent than that.
Add that Al called him out. I think he's got a little extra fuel to the fire there.
And he's going to need a new riding buddy? That's what you're telling me?
No, I think this one, I think he's just rolling alone this one.
This last ride?
No music on.
Oh, man.
Straight to the office.
All business, no play?
Yep.
Oh, baby.
I think that's what's happening. So that's two. That's the guard position right there.
Yeah.
Left tackle. We talked about Al. We've seen some of the bad games that he was having later on in the season. Yeah. It's pretty good earlier on in the season, but it seemed like he was costing us more than helping us. Yeah. Now we replace him with, actually, who knows? We talk about this uncertainty.
Yeah, I was like, is it Dan Moore? Is it Chooks?
I think Chooks. Is that a wash? Is that an upgrade? I don't know, but I just told you we upgraded the guard positions right there.
Okay.
Castro being healthy.
I hear you.
And Dotson being in his second year playing the full season.
Right. Okay.
Center, are we saying upgrade? Maybe. You talked about it being upgrade in the running game.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll say a wash right there if Kendrick Green comes in and he starts. And then right tackle, Banner, I think that'll be an upgrade over Chooks for the right tackle position.
Okay.
I mean, he's a first-round talent, and this is one of the things that I was thinking in the draft a little bit too. We didn't address the tackle position early on. Mm-hmm. We probably looked at some of these guys and were like, man, Zach Banner was a first-round talent coming out. We've seen him day in and day out over these past like 2 or 3 years. I don't know for this season, right off the bat, they're going to be any better than Banner.
Yeah.
So let's just roll with Banner. There is uncertainty there. Like I said, there's uncertainty at some of these positions, but I'll take that over what we dealt with last year.
So for me, I feel like the O-line is going to be a wash. And I feel like it has the potential to be better, but I think right now I'm putting it as a wash just for my grade, solely because I like Banner at right tackle. I think that, he obviously did beat out Chooks last year at right tackle going into the opener, and obviously got hurt 2 quarters into that game, so we never got a chance to see him from an elongated standpoint to see if he was really that good or not. But as a whole, I do feel confident with him at right tackle. When they were talking about him at left tackle, I didn't like that. I just didn't personally. He could show us something and that could be different, but I just felt personally more confident with him at right tackle. Now, when you talk about the guard position, DeCastro, I do think he'll be healthy this year. Do I think he's going to return to all pro, just all world form? I'm a little hesitant with that just because, like you already said, he is getting up in age. It's not like he's 22, 23 anymore. These injuries, it adds up. When you keep playing it longer, the older you get, it take a lot longer to get it warmed up. It take a lot longer to get it cooled down. It's just one of them things, man. It sucks. It's called life, all right? So that's the part where I'm just like, I think he'll be a better version than last year, but I don't think it returns to how it was a couple of years ago where he's so dominant. It doesn't matter who's at right tackle next.
Did he make a Pro Bowl last year?
I think he did. That was him and Pouncey, right? I'm about to say it was plenty. If I remember correctly, Pouncey did make it. And we both said, How?
He might have made all pro.
Yeah, we both said how. How did this happen? How? What's going on here? Because we were watching the same thing. I think you're right.
That's what I mean. The Castro might make another Pro
and
Bowl.
we were just like,
especially
bro,
if he's
like,
going to improve.
What is this? Now, in terms of the center position, I do think that number one, from a snapping standpoint, we will have an upgrade. I think we will. It's funny, we laugh about it now, but we weren't laughing. We weren't laughing in the wild card game. We weren't laughing in the Rams game a year prior to that. We weren't laughing anytime a snap rolled on the ground or was hot. We didn't laugh at all of that. So I do think that from a consistent snap standpoint,
I forgot about the Rams game.
Yeah. So and it was the same.
That was the same exact thing. It was like the first play of the game.
Exactly. So to me, I'm just like, I do think that part is an upgrade. I do think from a run game standpoint, if you're having Kendrick Green out there, it's going to be an upgrade. I think with BJ or JC, it'll be more of a wash. I don't think those guys move people to the same extent. But the two parts where I just say it's a wash at center is because Pouncey, what he gives you in terms of leadership, what he gives you in terms of understanding the blitz pickups and the different twists, he is the focal point. He's the guy who communicates that. Not DeCastro, not Dotson. It wasn't Fowler. It wasn't Al. It wasn't Chooks. Pouncey is the guy who does all that. So now you're either going to have a guy who we think is a better player than JC and BJ, and talking about Kendrick. We think Kendrick's better, but not as experienced in terms of the communication. He wouldn't be making those checks by himself. That's not going to be put on him. So to me, I'm just like, all right, if we get that part, well, I lose the veteran leadership, the experience, and all those other things. If I go with BJ or JC, I have a little bit, it's not going to be on the same par as Pouncey, but they're going to be higher up in terms of their understanding of the blitzes and the schemes, but athletically they're going to be limited. So I feel like I'm stuck either way with that. So that's why I say that the center position will more likely be a wash. I think Dotson's 17 game starter will be an upgrade over Fowler. Fowler played really good to me last year. This is the reason why he got paid the way he got paid, and he could play right tackle, which he's going to go out there and do. Obviously, that's his better position, but I think Dotson as a full-time starter is definitely going to upgrade there. The big question is at left tackle. We could talk about Chooks. We could talk about Dan. Either guy inexperienced at the NFL level at left tackle. Either guy has holes in their games from a consistency standpoint. Either guy way better at run blocking than pass blocking, right? In terms of, well, actually, no, I'll say this. Dan better as a run blocker than pass blocking. With Chooks, I feel like Chooks pass blocks well.
You think he's suited better for left tackle, maybe?
I think he's a better athlete.
It's just that left tackle wasn't open whenever he was competing for a spot.
Put it like this. I do think that's the reason why they're putting him over there is because he's the better athlete between him and Banner. I think Banner is built for right tackle. Banner is built to run block. He reminds me, now he's not to the same skill level, but his build reminds me of like a Mitchell Schwartz, just a taller version, a little bit bigger version and stuff like that. Whereas with Chooks is built for left tackle because he has to be able to dance with those guys. You're typically more of the finesse style at left tackle, which is why Al was perfect at left tackle, because you don't have to be this big mauler. Teams are right-handed. When they want to run right. They want to go right. But that means you got to have a stud that can protect this quarterback's blind side. I don't know if Chooks is on that level just yet. So that's, to me, is the part where I'm like, upgrading the run game, sure. I think that either Dan or Chooks are going to be an upgrade in terms of the run blocking than Al was. But I think Al pass blocks better than both of those guys right now as a left tackle, not as a right tackle, as a left tackle.
Okay. We've been talking about running the ball a little bit more, though.
Well, remember what we said on the last episode?
And I think that could help the offensive line a little bit. And two other things to consider. Yeah. Bringing in Pat, we talked about this last podcast. I think if he's out there on the line, I think he's going to help the offensive line in terms of run blocking and whatnot. And just his presence and keeping the defense in check, questioning what we're going to do, pass or run. That should help. And then in Al's interview, remember I just brought up, he liked blocking for Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Us bringing in Najee Harris, wouldn't you want to block a little bit harder? We got a first round talent.
You would.
I don't know. I think he might bring that type of spark.
Well, I've heard this because I've talked to a couple.
I know it's joking a little bit, but think James Conner.
Well, no, I was gonna say
inconsistent last year. Benny Snell, you don't know if he's gonna fumble the game away.
Well, this is the thing that, without taking shots at former Steelers or current Steelers, this is the thing in terms of just the different styles, right? With L. Bell, fun to play with because of how dynamic he is, but I heard it sucks to block for him because you never know when he's hitting the hole, nor do you know which hole he's going to hit. So instead of you typically having to hold a block for 2 seconds, you got to hold that block a lot longer. And that's why we saw Le'Veon start to struggle when he left and he wasn't with that same style of line that could hold their blocks for that long. So that's that part of it. But in terms of just Najee, though, I do think that him with this old line,
some type of spark.
I
don't know.
It's a good combo. Man, whatever they need to be motivated, if they need to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and find the golden ticket, I don't care.
There might be something just knowing like we got this.
You
dude.
know what I mean?
He's gonna get the ball 300 times this year. He's gonna help Karen us this season.
Whatever they need to do, as long as he's consistent with it, I think that that's going to be the better part. I don't think that it was a James Conner or a Benny Snell issue. I just think when you don't have your
it's nothing against those
guy,
individual players. Yeah,
when you don't have your main guy, it's hard. You have to play off of each guy, and their styles were different. And then you throw Anthony McFarland in there. That's another style. Whereas when L. Bell was here, it was L. Bell. Even when L. Bell went out, it was just D'Angelo. So we never had to worry about, okay, it's going to be this guy on this series. Then it's going to be this guy. Oh, he's more of a scat back. He's more of a power back. Oh, he's more of a patient back. And now you're just trying to figure out, well, how do we block for these guys? I think that part is definitely going to be a benefit to this O-line.
Yeah. So you're saying wash, but you're leaning.
I said wash, but I think they have the potential to be better. The biggest hang up for me is just the pass blocking. I don't know what that's going to look like, especially at left tackle.
A lot of that's going to come down to Chooks.
Absolutely. Or Dan, right? Because Dan is a true left tackle. Now, people have mixed reviews on him because it's like, well, he's a 3-year starter in the SEC as a positive. But then they say, well, he's a 3-year starter in the SEC and wasn't a first-round draft pick, wasn't a second-round draft pick, and they use it as a negative. So you can take it however you want to take it. That's why I don't give you that. I just,
we'll have to wait and see. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's only going to be better.
I hope so. I needed to be better. But I do think that starts with the mentality.
I got a good feeling this year.
That starts with the mentality. You always have it. You told me last year. Was it? No, last year was 16-0. Was last year 16-0? No, last year I said 16-0.
Yeah.
The previous year you said
15-1.
Yeah, 15-1. That's what it was.
15-1. This is after we lost like AB and Bell and stuff.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I always am hyped coming into the season.
Now, I did ask the people in terms of their thoughts if they think the O-line will be better in 2021, right? Now, we have been getting a good amount of reviews that sound a little bit like you too, man. I like this right here. All right, so Nick M says O-line will have more potential at least. I do agree with that. Jaden says, yes, 100%. The O-line will be better. I think this is Brady. I don't know how to say your last name. I don't want to butcher you, baby. But he says O-line play will make the difference between last year repeat and growth and possibly a Super Bowl. I do agree with that. If this O-line can block the way I think run blocking is going to be fine for them. I think that's going to be the first major upgrade. Then from there, I think it falls to philosophy. Are they going to be content with running the ball that frequently? Are they going to be content with being a smash mouth group, or are they going to want to be a pass first unit? That's going to be the difference.
We can be balanced.
No. This is what I mean. In terms of, we say that, but balance is never 60-40, right? Balance at best is 60-40 in the NFL. You're never going to get 50-50. But the problem, what I'm saying is this from a philosophy standpoint, 30 passes or less. I personally think 25 or less is the number. That's the magic number. Anything over 30, I feel like this offense is not going to work. I don't think this line works if the passing attempts per game are over 30. That's where Ben was wrong last year at 30. It's too much. I think that has to come down. That is philosophy, both on the coordinator and on the quarterback. We know the coordinator calls the calls. We know the quarterback has full autonomy at the line of scrimmage. If it's a run play, Ben allowed it. If it's not a run play, it's because Ben did not allow it. It's that simple. So that, to me, is going to really dictate how good this team could be and how good this offensive line could be, man.
I'm kind of hyped, actually, though, because if you think about the passing attempts, a lot of them were those short passes.
Yeah.
This was a completely different style of ball that Ben played this past season compared to the rest of his career.
Yeah.
I think maybe he sees some of that, and he'll say, man, I could sprinkle a little bit of that in. Yeah. We increase the run game a little bit, too. Get back to a little bit of the deep ball, too. Like, there could be a really nice blend for this offense coming up.
I agree, man.
Really could be sick.
And it looks like, man, a lot of people are excited about it, man. Let's see. Wait a minute. Men do comment like 3 times in a row. All right, so first, this Sima the producer, or Samada the producer. Bro, these names. It gets a little wacky at times, ladies and gentlemen. But Samada the producer ultimately says, I don't think they'll be better. I think they'll be average, but better at running the ball. Nick thinks that Chooks is athletic enough at the left tackle spot. Kevin says, I got a good feeling with Deke too. I was like, all right. I appreciate it. Shout out. All right. Then Ali says, not really. Doesn't think it's going to work, man. All right. Let's see. Yeah, all right, I like that. And back to Sima, the producer or whatever, however I'm saying that name, butchering it, I know. But they also said that the years that they won the Super Bowl, they were a run first unit. They weren't this pass happy, just throwing it. Which,
Yeah. We could be fine, man. We could be fine. I have a good feeling.
Absolutely. And then Kevin, shout out, he just agreed with what I said, 20 to 25 attempts, man. I think that's the sweet spot. I think that, man, he does that. This offense can operate at a high level. I think these guys can run block at a high level like that. And ultimately, I think Najee's a guy, you feed him. The more he gets the ball, the more he's going to wear on defenders. He doesn't like a back that breaks down. He looks like a guy that's built for this. He has the size that we said that if we were going to pick and choose who we thought was better for the AFC North, we said that Najee fits that because of the size that he plays with, whereas Eaton, he's smaller. So we know that Najee should be able to be that bruiser, that just punisher, like we would see so many times with L. Bell, where it's just build up. Then in the fourth, he's hitting you 15 yards, 20 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, just gashing you. That's what I think this can be, as long as those attempts are limited, though.
Well,
from a passing standpoint.
Yeah, I was going to say, will you give me this, that depending on the game flow, we got to be flexible with that. Like, crank it up to like 40 if we're down. You know what I mean? Like you're saying the mindset going in. Yes. Let's just try 20-25, have this nice balance.
Because this is the thing. The first 5 games, that was the mentality. And you think about the first 5 games weren't blowouts. They were extremely close. We talked about how sometimes we felt like, man, are we playing down to the competition? Are we not as good? What's going on here? But we were a very effective and at times exciting offense. Then we had the first half of Tennessee and the second half of Baltimore. And that's when the shift happened. That's when it became, I don't care what the score is in the game. We're coming out to throw the ball. And that's when we saw this shift also happen, where we got drastically out of balance. And it was about a week or two before teams caught up and said, okay, well, this is how we're going to play, since this is how you guys are going to operate offensively. You're not even thinking to run the ball. And that, to me, can't happen. But it wasn't like, oh, man, it was an injury or this or that transpired to make it shift to that. It just happened after those 2 games. So that, to me, is the big part. We talk about the philosophy. If you come in like that end of the season mentality, this is not going to work. But as long as you keep it like the beginning of the season, them first 5 to 6 games where we were very balanced, we had 100-yard rushers, and it was never the same guy. Think about that. We saw it happen in multiple ways. Effective running. That's what we started talking about, right? You don't have to have a stud. Just effective run the ball. Effectively run it. When we were doing that, we were fine. We looked really good. Defense wasn't on the field too much. Offense was staying in drives. It was good across the board. That's what we got to get back to.
Yeah, it sucks because that Colts second half, we flipped the switch. Yeah. We started playing really well. And the Browns game in Week 17, it was Mason starting, so we didn't get really a feel. And then the wild card game, I'm not saying we weren't thinking about doing that. We don't know what the game plan was. I mean, we gave up 21 points in like the first 5 minutes, so it's just tough. I wonder if that maybe was more of the strategy going into that Browns game, but we just couldn't do that because we got down so really quickly.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe everyone is thinking this already, Yeah.
But it's one of them things, man. Like, I'm hoping so, but that to me is going to be the big difference between how good this team can be. If they got that mentality where they want to run this rock, man, I think Ben can light it up for 20 to 25 attempts. I think that is perfect for him, man. He has more than enough arm, and he has the weapons around him. You talk about Pat, you talk about Chase, you talk about Deontay,
I'm loving this
Juju,
offense.
Ebron, Najee. Like, we got James Washington's still the forgotten guy. We know he can still do his thing. Like, they got pieces.
I'm really excited about this offense. If the offensive line does improve, even in the running game, it seems like that's a foregone conclusion that that's going to happen. That can only help everything else.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, man. We should be good, though.
You don't draft Najee Harris in the first round if you're not thinking like, dude, this offense is going to be explosive.
Nor do you draft Pat Fryermuth in the second round if you don't think this offense is going to be explosive, man.
Or have some type of faith in your line where it's just like, this is going to be a little bit better than last year at least.
Absolutely.
If that's the case, we add these dudes, it's over. It's over.
Bro. I like it, man.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, you ready to talk about our draft grades versus some of these other drafts in the division, right? Got to do a little.
Our division's drafting good as of late.
They have been, right?
Really good.
Cleveland's got a lot of experience with it, you know. So I will throw that out there. Also, I'm supposed to, because this is what you do on YouTube. If you haven't done so, make sure you're subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button. I know we got people.
What likes are we at? Because we hit the goal whenever we said it last time.
We did. All right, so right now we're currently sitting at 64 likes.
What?
Oh, we need more than that, baby. Come on now. The people
Wow. Just because this isn't the podcast after the draft, people are they forgetting?
We still packed out here now.
Man.
It's still a good crowd in here. But yeah,
we need those likes though.
Gotta get the likes, man. That's what they say. Hit the like button, man. It's simple. It's just a little.
We're at 60. Can we do 300 again?
I feel like
is that too tall of a task?
What? We not even. I mean, we're about the halfway point. Okay. If we can't get to 300 by the halfway point, like, what are we doing? That means that they're not liking us.
Do we take the week off?
Put the pressure on them. Y'all want us to come back? We need 300 likes. Otherwise, we out, man. We're gonna Cinco de Mayo all week. We don't charge you. Just hit the like button. That's it, right? It's a simple concept.
Yeah. Just hit the like button.
That's a good. That's. I like what you thinking, right? Put the pressure on them, man.
We can't do this all the time. This is just a one-time deal. We can't just always be threatening. Hey, we're gonna walk off. That's just not a good vibe.
Because you know what happened. They gonna Mason Rudolph us. They gonna find another show and be like, well, I'm gonna watch this guy instead until y'all prove that y'all really want to be here. And then we gotta come back and be like, no, we really love you guys. I promise we're gonna be here.
Yeah.
We don't want to do all that.
We can't do that. Yeah. It's just toxic. We can't be doing that.
Yeah, we're only toxic on Sundays. We don't get toxic during the week. All right, we got rules to our toxicity. All right, man. But to start it out, man, I figure let's go with Baltimore. Why not talk about them a little bit, man, as we compare our draft, right?
Sure.
So obviously, when we're just thinking about what their first round picks, Rashard Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota, then they got Jason Oweh, the outside linebacker out of Penn State, just simply sitting right there because obviously they don't have a second round pick. I like the Bateman move. I think that definitely upgrades them from a receiving standpoint. But to me, I don't like the Jason Oweh move. We talked.
You
about
weren't
him.
The biggest fan of him.
I wasn't. He tests really well. He has the intangibles, but he doesn't have the productivity. I don't like guys who have all these intangibles and no productivity. And knowing that they need outside linebacker, I just don't think that gets the job done for them. Along with the fact that once they traded Orlando Brown, they really didn't try to get a guy there. Like, I know they had the deal done with Al a week prior, and he just sat on it for obviously their comp calculation period, which really upset me. I'm like, not only are you going to sign with the ops, but you're going to do them a favor. You're going to sit on this deal for a whole week. Remember, he took the visit, and we were just like, whoa, what's going to happen? You set him for the whole week to make sure the comp pick calculation wasn't jacked up. Like, that's crazy. You're like Benedict Arnold, but I'm not going there. It's all love. It's all love. But I was not feeling that at all. That's all I'm saying, man. But when I see them not really address that position early on, I wasn't really a fan of it. Now, I do like the fact they got Ben Cleveland, though, right? The guard. Mm-hmm. Now, I know he's the third round pick, but as a whole, I wasn't as impressed with this as some of the national media is. I see the national media. You see the grades they're giving out? Man, we get the worst grade of the draft. Worst. I'm like, what draft are y'all watching? Yeah. This is crazy.
You know what it comes down to with our grade with the national media? It's like they stick to that philosophy of just you can't draft a running back in the first round. They just stick with that and don't take a step back and say, hey, they got the best running back on the board, the best running back in the draft.
Not just the best.
They really need a running back. It was pick 24.
You can make a case that he was the best player available at 24. I personally was the best player available at 24.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here, man?
You're not going to get him in the second round. Like, why isn't that a good pick for the Steelers? People are just so set on that philosophy. And then I think they even rip on the tight end pick of Pat Freiermuth. But we've talked about this, the importance of tight ends like that in the league. How many people or teams have been in the Super Bowl that have had these bona fide tight ends that provide the mismatch problems? We address the offensive line later, but then it goes back to what I was saying. Zach Banner or Chooks versus some of those left tackles and right tackles that were available in some of those earlier rounds. Who'd you rather take next year? I don't know. Maybe the Steelers know a little bit more than you. That's it. That's what I'm hanging my hat on.
Just maybe they know a little bit.
I'm just hanging my hat on that. Yeah. So some of these clowns up here ripping on our draft, I just don't like it.
Listen, I would trust that the Steelers know a lot more than a lot of us out here, man, as it pertains to just building their roster and things like that. But still, I just don't understand that sentiment. Like, Baltimore, their draft, was it good? Sure.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
But they still didn't address their biggest needs to me. I thought their biggest needs was O-line and outside linebacker. And obviously wide receiver as well. We got to, because they have multiple needs. I like what they did at receiver, but like I said, I'm not a fan of the Jason pick. To me, he's like a poor man's version of Yannick Ngakoue.
So you think he's going to be starting right off the bat?
I don't know if he's going to be starting right off the bat, but my thing is this. if he's not starting right off the bat, who are they putting out there on top of that? They don't have like bona fide. Like, you know how we have.
They
guys,
lost Judon.
Yeah.
Who do they have? They have like Pernell McPhee back there.
That's long gone, man. In terms of like him being the guy, like that's over with. That's my thing, man.
Yeah, let me look up their depth chart real quick. They have Malik Jackson still. But yeah, so here's my spin with the Owe pick. I thought their draft was fine. Like it wasn't splashy where like they hit on all of their needs, and I guess I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on the offensive line if they thought they had the Al pick locked up or the Al
if they think
signing.
That, and you kind of said this too when you were talking about Banner, right? Didn't you say Banner in 2021 is going to be better than whatever right tackle we were going to draft?
Sure.
They could be saying a similar thing with Al.
Yeah.
They could definitely be saying
Okay,
that.
so they have, I'm sorry, I butchered his name. Malik Harrison.
Yeah.
And Pernell McPhee.
So but Malik is in, I'm trying to think who's there.
So he was there. Oh, Tyus Bauer.
There we go.
Bowser.
That's who it was. Bauer. Yeah. I was about to say, no, because Malik is an inside guy.
Yeah. Those are their linebackers then. My thing with the Owe pick as it pertains to the Ravens is I think they're good at developing defensive guys. That's my only thing. If he went to the Jets, if he went to like the Texans or some shitty team, I wouldn't have liked the pick as much for them.
Edge rushes though. That's what I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I mean, can you say you're developing Suggs?
No, you didn't develop Suggs. You can make the case with Smith though. With was it Preston? Right? Yeah. Preston was the one that was there. You can make a case with him. I'm trying to think. The rest of these guys were inside guys. Like C.J. Mosley was an inside guy. What was the other guy? Daryl. I forgot his last name, but he was another inside. I'm trying to think like which edge guys have they really just brought in and developed like that? Whereas like in Pittsburgh, we know, okay, we brought in this guy, he developed. This guy developed. That guy didn't develop. This guy didn't develop. This guy kind of developed. Like we could talk about those guys. I don't know. But I will say this with Wink Martindale, their DC, he is going to figure out the best plan for those guys. But to me, that just knowing how much of a need I thought it was for them, I personally I would have rather have went with a more productive player.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone a little more polished, maybe.
Yeah,
I think that's just my standpoint. I'll give the Ravens the benefit of the doubt right there, just because they're a pretty well-run organization, especially on the defensive side. Because they brought in some dudes that have fallen in the past. Like I remember Jimmy Smith, he was extremely talented, and they ended up drafting him. He turned out to be do pretty well for them. They consistently do that, so we'll see if same thing occurs with Owe, but. They hit on the receiver in the first round, which they needed to do. Now the receiving core actually looks kind of pretty decent on paper.
It actually
with
does,
Bateman,
right?
Watkins, and then Marquise Brown. And then I think the rest of the picks were just really depth pieces. Yeah. So it's hard to get too excited about it.
Deshaun Wade, man. You saw they got him in the 5th round, right? Now he was a guy that got mixed reviews. Like some people liked him a lot, thought he should be an earlier grade. Then others pointed to games where he was
that he kind of shit the bed.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, he could be a slot corner for them, but I think right off the bat he's just going to be a depth guy. That's my thing. Yeah, and that's what I think.
Well, and they do got some nice corners already out there.
That's what I mean. That's what I think. From rounds 3 to 5, they didn't have a 6th or 7th round pick. Those are just guys. Maybe they're high on. They think they can develop. It's not like the Steelers draft, and it's not a. This is my point. It's not a knock against the Ravens draft because they do have a pretty nice roster. It's not like they had all these needs where in the first 3 or 4 rounds they had to hit on everyone. These guys could potentially be starters for them. So yeah, I think they did all right in those first 2 rounds. And yeah, you're right with Ben Cleveland too. That was a nice pick. But
I like that one because we talked about he brings that physicality. That's the guy that we liked here.
Yeah, we were
about
talking
that. Definitely would have enjoyed him being here, man.
So yeah, I'm good with their draft. I think it was a fine draft. It just doesn't have the splash. And they picked up what's his face, who we were talking about, safeties. Darius Washington.
Oh,
he was
undrafted. Yeah,
he was undrafted.
Did. Yes, crazy, right?
Crazy. So yeah, I thought they did pretty well. I think the whole AFC North did well.
I do too. I do think that the whole AFC North had really good drafts. That's the thing as well.
They all did well last year too. Remember when we were sitting up here?
Absolutely did.
I mean, you think of the Bengals with Burrow.
They killed it.
Yeah, Bengals and Ravens did good, and then Browns obviously killed it too. So yeah, it's a good division. 3 teams made the playoffs last year,
absolutely,
and the Bengals are on the upslope too.
Yeah. And we should have something similar going into this year. I mean, I just think that that's what this division is. That's how it's been historically, and we just got to keep that legacy going, man. We got to keep this division being a legit. We don't look at our division like the NFC East. We're not looking at it like that. We don't do that.
So we're comparing Steelers versus Ravens. Who had the better draft?
Put it like this. I feel like we got the better players. But
I'm going us. I gave us an A+, so I can't really.
Yeah, you did give us A+. Yeah, I feel like we had a slightly better draft than Baltimore. For me, like I said, it was just mainly the Wade pick. That him in the first round, I just wasn't feeling that at all. So to see that they took him and knowing that that's a position of need for them, that's the part that really just, I don't like that a lot. I feel like if you're going to use one of those picks, you use it on something that's going to give you impact right now. You think about how we are with Najee. You think about how we are with Pat. Those two guys are coming and giving us impact. Then from the rest of it, you can, you splitting hairs when you get through, around 4 and 5, because for them, they only have 4th and 5th round picks. So
like all these dudes are going to be on the bench.
Right. But technically it's like their 5th round prospects, you can make a case are, a little bit further along than our 6th and 7th round prospects, but that makes sense because of where they were taken. So that's the part that makes it just a little bit interesting. But for me, I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh Steelers right here, man.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go check the chat, man, because that's what the chat do, man. And shout out to y'all. Y'all responding in the likes. I see y'all. They up to 137 right now.
Damn, we're moving.
We getting up there. We getting there. We getting there.
300.
But let's see, man. As a whole, here we go. All right, so Call Me K says Ravens had the 3rd or 4th best draft in the division. I can definitely see that just based on what we're already feeling.
Yeah, I'd say 3rd.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Myron's talking about Deshaun Wade, the corner that they drafted. Says Wade will be good in a hybrid safety role. Put him on an island like last season, or excuse me, put him on an island like this season. He's toast. That's what it's been looking like for him right now. Unfortunately, that's what it's been looking like. But he might play just slot out there though, man. When you think about their 2 corners, actually 3 corners what they had, because they still got Jimmy out there as well.
Yeah.
So they got a nice little secondary going on right now, man. All right. Yeah, Winner says they're probably 3rd.
I agree. I have them 3rd.
And then Jev 3.0 says Steelers draft 100% better than the Ravens. We addressed our needs to win now. I do agree with that. And then Nick says Ravens get an F. Capital F too. I like that.
No credit.
That's big Deke energy right there, baby. If you gonna say it, you say it. All right. And then, I do agree with this too, Myron. Was it Tylen? I think they said Tylen Wallace, the wide receiver, the speedy cat. Yeah, they said that he's going to be seeing a lot of time in Baltimore's offense.
There'll be some competition for that 4th spot. You already have Bateman, Watkins, and Marquise Brown. So yeah, they drafted Duvernay last year. There's going to be a couple guys, but it goes back to what I said. Like I don't think he's going to be making as much of an impact as our 4th round pick. Like he might be starting for us. Whereas for them, maybe this dude gets like 5 snaps a game or something.
Absolutely, man.
At least right off the bat, you never know what can happen. If he gets hot, then it's almost like you can't keep the player off the field if they're doing so good.
This is true, man. I'm going to read a couple more before we switch to this next team in the division. All right. Just Lucas simply says Steelers draft gets a BDE+.
Sure.
Talking about that big Deke energy.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Makes
plus
sense.
with it. I like that, man.
That's what I said whenever I tweeted it out. I tweeted out a picture of Colbert and Tomlin. I said big Deke energy because they were displaying it
they
all
were.
draft, throughout the whole draft.
Man. They definitely were. I like it. All right. And I think two more before we get up out of this segment. Tritas over said, oh, man, I hate when it does it. I got a little update, like, checked everything. All right. So he says, good draft for Baltimore, but nothing crazy. And then Steelers game, you'll like this. Talking about Ravens get a F ... I say capital F the Ravens. I like your style. It's PG-13. I gotta keep it family friendly, man.
Sure.
But you get my drift. So we're good. We are good. All right. So I think we all agree that Steelers had the better draft than the Baltimore Ravens. I like that. Shout out to us.
Sure.
Now we gotta go transition into this Cleveland Browns. Oh, it's a little interesting here.
They had a really good draft.
Yeah,
they had a really good draft.
Really good. Oh man, Greg Newsome the 2nd in the 1st round. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in the 2nd round. Anthony Schwartz. Anthony Schwartz out of Auburn in the 3rd. James Hudson in the 4th. Tommy Guy. I think that's how you say his last name. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, D lineman. And then Tony Fields, shout out to WU, man. I know some WU people out here, man. Tony Fields, like him at linebacker. And then Richard LeConte out of Georgia. That's another guy we talked about. Yep. And then Demetric Felton, the running back out of UCLA.
They did really good. They did really good.
They did.
The JOK pick in the second round. I
oh,
mean,
they did.
We even thought their first round pick was good with Greg Newsome, but then to get JOK in the second round, did you hear why he was slipping?
They said it was something like he had like
a heart problem,
condition, but then they said he was cleared.
Yeah.
All right, kind of crazy.
Yeah, the Browns actually, it seems like they did something good there with picking him. They weren't scared away, and they picked They were actually thinking about trading up in the first to get him. They said.
I mean, it's crazy to see that a guy could have a health scare like that, get cleared medically, but then teams still don't want to touch him. To me, I'm just like, dude, if he's clear and he's good to go,
I wonder if the Cardinals were maybe going to take him, but I don't know. Zaven Collins is a pretty good match with Isaiah Simmons, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, what's your initial thoughts? Did we give grades? Should we give grades at the end, maybe?
I mean, we could. I was just simply saying who's better. Just our draft versus their draft. So that way it keeps it simple, right? Because it could be slightly better. It could be a lot better if you want to be like, man, we got a AAA 1000. Like, that's what we got. You could go that route too.
Yeah. So that's how I did. I just did grades. So I gave the Browns an A+. I gave us an A+.
Browns definitely.
So what's the higher A+? I'm going to lean us just because we're the Steelers.
I knew you would.
I do think there's a road, though, for this season where Pat and Najee Harris and Kendrick Green are like studs for us.
Okay.
With them, are we sure right off the bat those guys are going to be studs for them this season?
Greg Newsome, you think Greg Newsome's going to go there and he might start opposite Denzel? Or he might be the third.
Because here's my problem.
Feast out there.
That's thing you could always put in your back pocket with the Browns, even if they had a good draft. You could always say this. Doesn't matter. They're gonna screw this up though. Well, I can't say that now. I can't say that. That's why I said I'm giving them an A+.
Yeah.
And it's an actual legit conversation, in my opinion, between us and the Browns for the top spot. I'm gonna go us though. I'm a big fan of Harrison Fry. Like that's how highly I think of those first two picks.
I agree as well. I love those first two picks. You already know how I feel.
But a lot of people, that's why people are giving us C's. People are giving us C's based off those first two picks.
But more so because of the running back element of it. People just don't like running backs in the first round. We talked about why that is. And then to see you go running back in first round and then don't go O-line in the second round, see people going crazy about that as well. That's the part where I'm like, I can see that, but based on how the board was falling and the players that were available to us, that's the part where I'm just like, the rule has to have a little bit of a caveat to it, and that is the caveat. When two players like that are available right there, it's hard to pass on that. And that's why I said I would much rather you go the route that they did and just take talented players who are going to help you now versus drafting solely for this position, even though this player isn't worth that pick. That's my thing, you know? So I don't have the big issue with them taking Najee at 24 as some of our counterparts in the media business do.
Yeah. Shame on them. Yeah. Shame on them. Take your Steeler hater glasses off, please. Too many haters out here.
We always got Steeler goggles. Now we got Steeler hater goggles. I like it, man. Yeah, because that's for me, man. I like early on with this, though, man. Greg Newsome, JOK in the second.
And that's the thing. They did good. They did good rounds 4 to 7. I mean, they hit the receiver too in the third round. Maybe you could have picked a different receiver, but they needed depth.
Yeah, I'm just like, I like it. Got a little O-line action, man.
Yeah, they did good.
They did.
They did good.
They did. This is the only. You already so you say you lean in for us. For me, this is where
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even blame anyone.
Yeah. As bad as it sounds, as much as I don't want to say that Cleveland had the better draft, I do think that they did have the best draft in the AFC North. I mean, I thought that they hit on the piece that they needed to hit on, but I still think that it's gonna be different come game day when they're playing.
That's what I mean. Like
that's the part that's different.
And this is what I think both did good in those later rounds in terms of depth pieces that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether Richard LeConte makes an impact or Tony Fields this year, I don't know. We don't follow the Browns that much because maybe they're talking about those picks similar to how we're talking about some of our late round picks. But that's what I know. Some of our late round picks, they could be really good for us this year. But and then you add that with I like our first two picks over their first two in terms of like I think it's gonna just be more. How do I want to put this? No. It's just gonna be out there that we had the better first 2 round picks.
Okay.
After the season's over. Like, we're going to see Najee Harris's impact.
Yeah.
We're going to see Pat's impact. With these guys, granted, we don't watch the Browns week in and week out. I don't think we're going to be talking about them like we are our first 2 round picks.
Okay. I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm a defensive guy. That's my thing, man. So
those were great. Those were great 2 picks on defense.
Forgive me for clamoring for defense. That's my thing, man. You get a corner that can do it all. He's super smooth in terms of Greg. I mean, he's a guy that we liked. We even talked about him potentially.
I think I put him. Where did I put him at 4? Maybe.
Yeah, like we like his game, man. We like his game a lot, and then we were both really high on JOK as well.
Yeah.
So to see that they got 2 of the guys that we were both really high on from a defensive standpoint, and me being a defensive guy, that's kind of why I lean that way. Whereas for you, we know you offense, man.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe.
Because for me, like if I
you got to throw the bias. You got to throw the bias in there too. That you really got.
Well, you heard how I said I get a Browns slightly, just because like it's Cleveland. I can never fully say Cleveland is better than us in anything. Ever.
Although last year didn't we put us 3rd or something in the rank? I think
we did.
Because Browns and Ravens both had really good drafts.
Because we thought Browns and Ravens, and then we talked about Cincy, but we just felt like Cincy still didn't do enough with it. But man, we thought they did some really good things, man, as a whole. The division should be good at drafting like this, especially Cleveland, man. They get the most experience drafting. With all these picks, they get all these first round picks, all these losing seasons.
Yeah,
they are good in this process.
Their roster's loaded. Yeah. It's gonna come down to Baker for them this year. Yep. Is he? I don't know, because you know how it is. It's either you get better, or you get a little worse.
Yeah,
like you can't really stay the same. And him staying the same.
Like my college coach at JMU, go Dukes. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, they will be playing this Saturday.
Are they in championship?
No, semifinals.
Okay.
But it's on ABC, and for those that don't have ABC, you can go to ESPN3. Check out the JMU.
What day
Dukes.
is it today? It's Thursday.
It's
Thursday.
That's coming up. So yeah.
I thought it was Monday for a second.
Yeah. Just make sure y'all tuned in. You know what I'm saying? We play on prime. We were playing on prime time last week. Last week was on ESPN. Late night under the lights, Sunday night football. You know how we do Harrisonburg going crazy.
Sure.
But now, we got to take it on the
Maybe
road.
get a little day drink going.
A little.
Throw in the JMU game.
You see, I got the hat, and I might have one of my boys pull out a little JMU.
That'd be dope.
Might be one of them weekends, man.
Okay.
Might be one of them weekends, man.
I might have to stop by.
You might need to. But back to the draft. Back to what I'm saying. I just had to get my little 2 cents. Go Dukes. But yeah, man.
Yeah, was I gonna say anything else about them? The Browns?
Not really.
Yeah,
it's the Browns.
Oh no, I was talking about Baker, right?
Yeah. In terms of you either get better or you get worse. I was saying it reminded me of my college coach. He used to always say that.
I don't think what he did last year is going to be good enough. So it's either he improves a little bit, or if he does stay the same, I would consider that a downgrade for the Browns. Yeah. Like you need to keep seeing.
He's going to have to improve.
I don't know what that is though. I feel like we know what he is. He's this game manager.
But see, I think
like what can he get better at? For me, like it would be doing what Dak does down in Dallas.
See, I was thinking more doing what Kirk Cousins does in Minnesota.
What's the difference between Baker and him right now, though?
Well, I think Kirk is the more consistent, better passer. The more consistent passer, the better version of that. I think that Baker does a better job of managing the game, though, and protecting the ball. I think Kirk, he's a little bit too much passing. I think if they dialed his numbers back, he would be a lot better. But they just they let him do what he do,
Yeah, you pay him what, $30 million?
I mean, fully guaranteed everything, right? Like that's what you get. But to me, I think that that's the improved version of Baker. I personally think that what Dak is doing, Baker is, it's pretty much comparable. Like you can say that Dak is a better version of it, but barely. Like I don't think it's, oh man, I'm taking this guy over this guy 100%. No, if we were gonna get that conversation, it would start to factor in who's getting paid what. All right, well, what's the offense look like? Because they're both pretty similar to me, at least. You know what I mean? In terms of who they are, I don't think
you think Baker would have a much higher volume of throwing if he was in Dallas' offense. I think he would,
yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I think that if Dak was in Cleveland's offense, his numbers would go down. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm a Dak guy.
You're taking Dak over. We've had this conversation before.
We talked about this.
Yeah, I think right now I'd take Dak over Baker. Yeah. But that's what I mean. He's got to improve just a little bit. I don't know to what degree. I don't know what that looks like for them. Because it feels like their offense is pretty set. I don't know how it's going to involve.
Like for him, all you have to do is make sure you improve Baker means don't have what happened the first Cleveland Steelers game where you throw a pick six that just changes the whole outlook of the game. You think about the games where he doesn't have the big crazy turnovers, the Browns look really good. When he turns the ball over, when he plays like Baker that we know, that's when they look bad. So for him, if he can just consistently keep them turnovers down, keep them in the single digits, I think that's an improved version of Baker. And it's something that's tangible, something that we can actually look to and say, okay, this does equate to being a better version as well because the numbers back it up. I think that's going to be the big difference, because I don't think philosophy-wise they're going to change. Why would you? I mean, you got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Your offensive line is built perfect for what y'all trying to do, and you got receivers that can win. Yeah.
Yeah, it was without Odell, too.
Exactly. I'm not switching that up if I'm them.
People like to bring that up and say, was the offense better without Odell or not?
Jeez.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they're in any rush to trade him.
Not at all. And they shouldn't be.
Yeah, if they could, maybe they did find something though in terms of like, hey, this offense, how we're running it without him works. But now we add Odell back into that. That could be dangerous for them.
Absolutely. And I think Stefanski, he's smart enough, he's creative enough that he's going to put those guys in a position where Odell can come in and thrive like that.
Yeah, because you'd be stupid not to bring him back. That'd be really dumb.
But man, I don't like when we talk positive about Cleveland. It just makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah,
I don't like that, bro.
I think the spin you could put on it is just we got some awesome matchups coming up for this NFL season. Like,
absolutely,
I'm really excited.
Absolutely, it's definitely gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it's these divisional games. Usually, it used to be sometimes for Cleveland or not Cleveland with Cincinnati, they were big time matchups.
They were.
Usually, it was like Ravens was the big matchup. Cincy, Cleveland, Now it's like you got to get up for all these games.
But that's how we want it, though, man. That's what makes the AFC North, and ultimately that's what's going to keep us tuning in every week, man, because it's going to be 5-star matchup after 5-star matchup. We're going to have plenty to talk about, and then we're going to be at these games tailgating and going crazy with y'all. And it's going to be a blast. That's what we do.
Yeah, this season's going to be
nuts.
That's what we
do, man. All right, so you ready for the last ones, man?
Sure.
The Cincinnati Bengals, the Bengals. I like it. I don't love it. I think it's the fourth in division to me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out
I still think they did good.
They did. It's fourth in division, but it's still like a high fourth. It's not like a F. It's still a good grade.
Like they're probably in the top 10 or 15 compared to the rest of the league.
Absolutely.
That's how good we did, like the AFC North did this year.
Absolutely. I'm trying to see. Where are we at? Oh, here we go, right here. All right, you got Jamar Chase, first round. Jackson Carman, tackle in the second round out of Clemson. Then you go, was it Joseph Osei? I think that's how you say his name. The edge out of, linebacker out of Texas in the third round. Then they went with Cameron Sample, DN out of Tulane in the fourth round. Tyler Shelvin, D tackle out of LSU in the fourth. Deontay Smith, offensive lineman, offensive tackle out of ECU in the fourth as well. They had 3 4th-round picks.
Yeah.
All right. Jeez. Oh, yeah, I like this dude right here. Then with the kicker out of Florida as well, Evan McPherson in the 5th round. Then Trey Hill out of Georgia in the 6th round. Chris Evans, running back out of Michigan in the 6th. And then Wyatt Hubert, the DN out of Kansas State in the 7th round. Number one for me, I got to start with Jamar Chase. I love Jamar Chase as a player. I love pairing him back with Joe Burrow. I hate the pick, though, when you got Penny Sewell was on the board. Like, you need to protect your quarterback. We talked about it this whole time. We said, bro, please don't mess this up. If you're Joe Burrow, you got to be just telling your GM, telling your head coach, get me a tackle that can save me. Please keep me clean. I'm a cook. I got T. Higgins. I got Tyler Boyd. I got weapons around me. I'm good. But they go ahead and draft Jamar Chase. And then they try to make it right and say, well, we're going to draft Jackson in the 2nd round. But Jackson isn't Penny. That's my thing. I'm just like, when you have that type of talent from an offensive line standpoint available to you, you have a young quarterback who's coming off a knee injury. We're coming off of a season where your O-line wasn't good. When's the last time their O-line's been good? You supposed to take an offensive lineman there. It made perfect sense. So that's my biggest knock with them right here, man.
So I kind of see what they were doing with that, and I'll be interested to hear what your rebuttal is to this, because they drafted a tackle in the 1st round last year, and then they signed Riley Reif this offseason, another tackle. So you're in a tough spot. One of those guys aren't going to play unless you're trying to move them to guard potentially. I don't know if you could have done that with the dude that you drafted last year. What they should have done then, if you're not going to take Sewell, maybe you just trade down, collect another nice 2nd round pick or another nice 1st round pick later in the draft, and you could have maybe shored up your offensive line if you wanted to take Carman, and then you could have taken like a center and then another guard. You could have just completely built your offensive line in those first 2 rounds right there. That's what I'm thinking. If you weren't going to take Sewell, or you were just worried like we're doubling up too much on the offensive tackles, I don't know. Jamar, I like the pick though. I'll be straight up. I'm an offensive.
And that's the thing. I was like, I like it because of how talented he is. I think it's as another weapon for Joe. We know we like Joe. We think Joe is going to be a really good quarterback. But I'm just like, man, you can have all the weapons in the world. If you don't have the protection, if you don't have an O-line that can block for you, you're stuck. It's not really gonna matter. We think about when Odell first went to Cleveland, right? We said, man, from a receiving standpoint, they got Odell, they got Jarvis, they got Njoku, they got all these weapons. And we said, man, they can't protect. Every time they would drop back, it was like, man, your quarterback will get killed back here. And then what did? They addressed the offensive line heavily, free agency and in the draft. And then you saw what it looked like with all of it together. That is what I'm trying to see. If you're Cincy, like, I get the weapons outside, but is Riley, you think he's coming in, he's upgrading the offensive line like that? I personally don't.
Better than last year, at least. Yeah.
We would hope so. Well, actually, we don't hope so. I said that backwards. We would not hope so, actually. I hope that it is an upgrade. Let me rephrase that.
What do you think of that, though? You think that's what was going on in their mind?
It reminds me of Baltimore's mindset, right? We talked about Baltimore not addressing the right tackle position early on. But they said, well, hey, we got Al Villanueva. We feel like he's going to be better than anybody that we're going to draft right now. So that's where we're going. That's the route we're going to go. Cincinnati could have a similar sentiment.
You just don't think it's a good move?
I personally don't, when you have a guy like Penei available to you on the board. I think that's different because Baltimore didn't have that available to them. If I remember correctly, they didn't have that when Jason went off. Like I said, I didn't mind Rashard. I like Bateman at number one. I'm cool with that. But the second one, that's the one I would have to see who was still available. You know what I mean? Because Tevin was available during that time frame.
He went second round.
Yeah, so that's a guy I'm just kind of like, do you think Tevin at right tackle is an upgrade over Al switching to right tackle? I personally do. So that's
Ed Walker Little too. I think Jalen Mayfield went in the third round.
So I'm just kind of like, I would have personally rather went that route if I was them. And for Cincinnati, similar thought process. Like, I don't mind you going Jackson, but knowing that should have been Penei. Think about the drop off. Think about the talent discrepancy between those two players. That to me is where I'm just like, I'm not a fan of it. But like I said, I can see where you just like, yo, we got this bona fide stud out here, and that's just gonna open this offense up so much more. And they said that the coordinator out there, they want Joe to get the ball out faster, make his decisions faster. So if that is the mentality, and you're saying that, hey man, we want you getting that ball out 3 seconds or less, I don't care about this O-line. Well, then, all right, I can see why you would go this way. I just personally don't think that that's going to be the recipe for success, though.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because those first 2 picks, based off their needs, not bad. Not bad. I guess you could have that third receiver, but Jamar Chase coming in, he's probably going to be your number 1. Because we know what Boyd is. Boyd is like a really nice number 2.
Yeah.
Higgins could be... he could have been a number 1, but they're just different styles.
Yes.
Chase is a little bit more physical, but yeah they're gonna have a loaded top 3 receivers there. I was thinking tight end, but if you're gonna just be going with these 3 receiver sets,
we don't worry about no tight end when you got that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. Let me see some of these notes that I have here. Yeah, because they upgraded the cornerback position in the offseason with Hilton. Bringing in the dude over from Dallas, Trey Waynes too.
Yeah, they got some edge hope in terms of was it Hendrickson?
Yeah.
Someone from the Saints, right?
Yeah,
they had like the 13, 14
They brought in a couple
whatever.
dudes on their line too, so maybe you could have talked about them getting a linebacker, but they drafted a couple dudes in the third.
Linebackers last year.
I was gonna say
Gaithers and
Wilson.
Yeah,
they drafted a couple dudes last year, so if they're high on them, maybe you don't address the linebacker position. So. Outside of the offensive line, if for whatever reason you're feeling... I like
the kid from Texas. Was it Joseph? Yeah, he's a productive player. I think he's going to be good there.
Yeah, if for whatever reason you're thinking that, hey, man, we upgraded the line as much as we needed to at this point. Yeah. I think they did fine on their picks.
Now, going into the chat, right, just asking, their thoughts on the Bengals. Kevin Brokenborough says the Bengals they need pass blocking in terms of O-line, and they didn't address that. So yeah,
that's what I mean. I think if they would have traded down, that would have been the better move, and just drafted 3 linemen in the first 2 rounds.
That'd have been because they were good at wide receiver. It just looked like they didn't want to move, and they took the best player that they thought was available.
Yeah.
Versus what they really needed. And
it's not as flashy. It's because now looking back, it's like, can you imagine this team without Jamar Chase? Because you already drafted him. It's true, like I wouldn't want to give up Jamar Chase for any of these linemen.
Very true. Very true.
But in the moment, that might have been the better. Yeah. You need to take your medicine.
Nick shares our sentiment. He says he's so happy that they passed on Sewell. I agree.
So what would they have? Maybe they just move one of those guys to guards then. How would you operate in that situation?
When you have him, it's him, and you make the other guys figure it out on their own.
That's what I mean.
Because he's that good. That's what you want in that type of guy. They ain't want to go that route. They can figure it out on their own. I ain't tripping on it. I ain't gonna give them the answers now. We just going to critique them. That's what we do.
Him going to the Lions doesn't affect the Lions at all.
It doesn't.
They're just going to be garbage.
Like, gosh. I'm like, out of all the teams you go to, like, you might not ever make an All-Pro because you're playing in Detroit. No one watches Detroit, first off.
Especially you don't have Stafford there anymore. Galladay just left.
You think we tuning in to watch Jared Goff play quarterback for the Detroit Lions? Heck no, baby. Not a chance.
It'll be interesting for like 3 weeks. But then, they're going to go down the tubes.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Let's see. Some more. Bengals had an okay draft. Nothing spectacular. That was from Vikesh. Shout out, Vikesh. I see you in the building. Somebody else I just saw popped up. Yeah, because like in the middle of the chat, some like Ray Lewis conversation going on here. It's crazy. It's like a whole heated discussion. I saw some Peasy pull up. Oh, Rod Dollars. That's what I was looking for. Rod, man, shout out to you, Rod, man. I see you on my other show too. He says, since he found a gym in the undrafted free agent Puka Williams, the running back, was out of Kansas, I want to say, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So he's the guy that they signed undrafted. I do like him. They saying that he could potentially be their new Giovanni Bernard.
Oh, wow.
That's what they're saying, because obviously they got Joe Mixon coming back, but Giovanni, he left and went to Tampa this offseason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do like his game, though. We talked about him a little bit.
He went to Tampa, too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Very bad.
Ronald Jones, Fournette, and him.
Yeah.
There's got to be another one. AP still wants to go there, maybe?
He might. I was saying they got their 3 backs right there, right? So, AP could be their, like, short yardage goal line back.
You notice I'm not talking about Bell anymore.
I noticed. What's
Adrian
going on,
Peterson.
man?
We're good.
Oh, you're AP. That's the new guy?
No, I'm not talking about them anymore. We're good. We got Harris, man. I don't got to worry about it.
Respect.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, let's see what else they said about Rod Young. So we had Rod Dollars. Now we got Rod Young. Rod Young says, F the Bengals. 10 exclamation points. I agree with that sentiment. 1,000%. Yes, indeed. And then let's see. Yeah, whole bunch of other craziness going on in here. Oh, now this is a good question for Rod. He asked, do we have the secondary to stop the Bengals wide receivers? Whoa. That, yo, why you gotta do that, Rod? I thought you was on our team here, Rod. I thought you cared about. No.
I think the pass rush could be good enough.
I feel like this is personal, Rod. Why you got to bring up our corners versus their wide receivers? Why we don't need to have that conversation just yet?
It's a good question.
It's a great question. I love that question.
That's a really good question, actually.
Oh, I don't like us right now.
I think Cam Sutton could hold his own, but who's the third?
Who's he guarding?
I think he goes up against Boyd.
Who has Higgins?
That's the question. We'll have Joe Hayden on Jamar Chase. I don't even know if that's the best matchup.
I was saying here, like, I was about to ask, so who got Jamar?
Well, we don't got to worry about their tight end.
No.
So we could put extra attention to one of those guys.
So who's the guy? James Pierre?
You know what, dude? I'm kind of liking this Shakur Brown dude. I really am. Dude, wait, did you check him out yet? I watched the highlights. Dude, he does look like Mike Hilton.
He's good. They said he just tested bad. That was the knock on him, right? Yeah, they say he just tested bad, but
He's in the mix. He's in the mix for that third spot.
People had high grade on him. Him and Quincy Roche were the biggest reasons why, like, a lot of the like analysts, the people who like watch the tape and stuff like that, the guys that I like to listen to, they were talking about how they thought that those two guys could be the biggest steals for the Steelers because they think Quincy has the potential to be a really good player. Some people have like 3rd round grades on him and stuff like that, but obviously him playing in Miami, you know, the people that he was playing with, it was a little bit different for him down there. And he was a transfer, right? Came from Temple and stuff like that. But they said with Shakur, they said, man, he's a guy that was productive, knows how to play the game. Some guys are just natural
picks
playmakers, right?
Yeah.
Some people just know how to play, and they might not test well, but they just know how to play. And that's what Shakur, he looks like. He just finds the ball, he gets after it, man. Good player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still don't like our matchups right now, baby. I'm not.
One of those dudes got to be a stud out of those 3 cornerbacks.
I'm hoping you're right.
Yeah, one of those dudes.
I hope so. Where did they come from? How did they just magically wake up and be studs?
Well, I like what I'm seeing. See the Pierre one to me. I'm just seeing that one highlight where he turns his hips in the Browns game. That's the only play I've seen from him.
He got some plays. He got some heat.
Did you do it? Yeah,
I did a review.
I did a film session, so I just outed myself. I haven't seen the film. Oh wait, no, I cut it up.
We talked to it. Yeah, you did.
I cut it up.
Yeah, but it was a while ago, bro. Think about when we did that. That was. Wow.
Yeah, Pierre.
I think Steven Nelson might still be on the roster when that happened.
Might have been.
Yeah.
No,
because we were more so looking at them two in terms of Steven Nelson and Justin Lane as who No, Steven Nelson was gone. Cam Sutton had just got his
You did
deal.
one on Pierre.
Yeah,
I think you did one on all three
Yeah,
of
I
them.
did both. Yeah,
You did them at
Cam,
just different times.
Yeah, different times. Yeah, we did James and Justin. I felt first maybe, and then Cam after that for the film sessions. But yeah, I mean, I thought Justin had played, or not Justin. James had plays where he was productive. He's just not.
He was in the right
athletic.
position.
Yeah, he
right?
was always in the right position. Like fundamentally sound, plays really good technique, understands the defense. Like I said, just limited athletically. Whereas Justin Lane was the opposite. Justin, freaky athlete. He does some things you're just like, whoa, that's different. But mentally, you're just like, bro, if you could just walk over here 5 yards, you'll be perfect.
And it seems like everything got handled off the field.
What you mean?
Like nothing, nothing happened. Like he's good, and we didn't cut him, so it looks like he's going to be on the roster for us next year. So it's going to be a competition between those three, I guess.
And typically, even when Goodell does his discipline for off-field stuff, is usually the following year. Wouldn't it be this year? He would typically wait until the following year.
Yeah, because he's just doing like community service. I think he paid like a $500 fine, and I think that was it.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, all things considered.
Yeah, exactly.
Way worse.
And like I said, he's still on the Steelers roster, so I'm assuming. Yeah, wouldn't they have cut him way early?
I think they would have. Yeah, if they didn't.
At this point, if they do eventually cut him around training camp, I guess it would have something to do with football, not that stuff.
Which is what
That's what we were saying.
Like if you cut him because of football. Don't cut him because of that off-field incident. That was my big thing. Yeah. But let's see. Right here, Rod also says that he's a Pierre fan. He thinks that, well, number one, because he's from Haiti, and Rod's from Haiti. All right, shout out to the Haitians in the building. But he says Chase is a dog, and I'm with you. I just don't like all of our matchups across the board versus all their matches. But that's the beauty of football.
Yeah, let's wait to see how training camp and preseason play out, and then we'll have a more better idea of the depth chart then.
Right, we don't have to just go all the way full panic mode when we're talking about that particular matchup that's going to be twice a year. We don't need to do that.
We're going to rely on the pass rush a little bit.
Heavily.
Rely on some help from Minka and Edmonds.
Heavily.
We'll be all right.
Yeah, and smoke and mirrors.
Deception.
Gotta have deception. That's like the art of war. I remember that. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, just show here, but we're going here.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's it. That's all we need. All right, you ready to wrap it up, man? We got one last.
Yeah, so we both
man.
agree Steelers over Bengals then.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of the draft.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Got to count that. That's BDE right there.
Yep, I agree.
I don't want to call it BDE because it's too, you know what I mean? They need to know what we're saying. Big Deke energy. That's what that is right there. Big Deke energy. All right, so it's simple, man, for this last one.
Yeah.
Najee Harris being here in Pittsburgh. Number one, the impact that's going to have on the running game. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but more importantly, could this mean that number 7, Ben Roethlisberger's career will be extended now?
Sure. Well, you know my answer. I'll
let you lead off, baby. I know you feel. You
know my answer, but I mean, I do think there is some substance to it too. This came from Jerome Bettis, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. But you have seen quarterbacks throughout NFL history. Like I'm not talking about just any quarterback, like stud quarterbacks in their career. They get that running back, or it doesn't even have to be that running back. They get that running game, and it just helps. I mean, a running game's gonna help any offense in the league. It's gonna help. Like that's just a fact. But in terms of quarterbacks that are getting up there in age, and it's not even. This isn't a Peyton Manning scenario at all, where it's like he's a hindrance.
No, because Peyton like physically just.
That's what I mean, and I don't even remember what their running game was. They still won a Super Bowl though.
Who were their running backs that year? That wasn't No, Melvin wasn't out there this year. Who was in? I don't even remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't. No. They had Moreno for a little bit, but I don't know who it was.
Moreno wasn't during them.
I don't know who it was. Yeah, for the Super Bowl, I can't remember.
It wasn't CJ.
It might have been. I think it was.
Might have been CJ.
I think it was. Yeah.
Because that was before he got because he had the good run when he went to the Rams. Back that CJ was still like getting a little thicker.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw out a few names here, and what happened when they got running games, and
here we go.
Just how
I like when you got your research done like this,
and
baby.
just how it has extended their career, and just even what it meant with the quarter. Like these seasons were their best seasons of all time, actually, when this was happening. This is what I mean, where it's not necessarily about like an aging quarterback. It's just like a running game's gonna help anyone.
Yeah.
But you add that these guys are all timers, could spell disaster for opposing teams. The one, Brett Favre.
True.
Goes to Minnesota.
You already saw it.
That might have been his best season of all time.
That was crazy.
Adrian Peterson.
That was crazy.
And I'll give him this though.
Percy Harvin. Who was the tall receiver they had out there?
Sidney Rice.
That's he underrated.
I don't know. I don't know if Favre made him or not. That's the thing.
I feel like Sidney was underrated, man. I like this game,
I think Harvin was underrated.
Oh, major underrated.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Percy do. This is the crib. Underrated / properly rated. The reason I say properly because he was injured a lot. He missed a ton of games. So that's my
like when he was in, he was big time.
Electric, bro.
He was big time.
You put the ball in his hands, like it's crazy.
So yeah, Brett Favre. That's one comparison right there. Goes to Minnesota. I think I don't know what he was, age 39, 40. Everyone thought he was washed up from the Jets year. Granted, I thought his Jets year he was awesome till he got hurt.
He was, and then New York happened to him. You know,
I swear he got hurt though.
Either way, don't text certain pictures of certain parts unless it is a manscaped part. You know, make sure you take care of your balls. That's about it if you're gonna be doing certain things like that, man. But as a whole, I don't recommend that. Keep the pictures to yourself. That's what happened to the man. You know that's what happened, man.
I swear he got hurt.
He got hurt, but then that happened also.
I mean, yeah, that was...
Yeah, they got him up out of there. They changed it.
Yeah.
You can't do that, baby.
Yeah, you can't do that at all.
Especially in New York. Don't do that in New York now.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. But
no, don't do that.
I don't think that's why he left New York. I thought he just wanted to go to Minnesota.
I think it all played into it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, next name then. So Brett Favre. John Elway. That's the most obvious one.
Literally, Keon Ron Broomsey literally just put this in there. Elway had T. Davis help him win.
Yeah, so it was. I think it was Elway's last 3 seasons.
Yeah, that changed everything.
But then if you look at Elway's stats, those were his statistically. I don't. Someone with the eye test can maybe tell me otherwise. But those were statistically his 3 best seasons of his career, where he had the most touchdowns. So that's that, and he obviously won 2 Super Bowls. Yeah. Another name that you might brush this aside, but I'm going to throw it out there. Tom Brady, actually.
No, he did. Absolutely.
So hold on. Yeah. 2018 playoffs.
Yes, for a fact.
Sony Michel.
Yes, they drafted him, and that. Yes, absolutely.
Even though he's not like these bona fide studs like Adrian Peterson, Terrell Davis, his run in the playoffs.
That was a huge upgrade. Yes.
A lot of people kind of thought he was washed the following year in 2019. Then we see what happened with Tampa Bay.
You can make the same case for
Fournette
Tampa.
And Ronald Jones, the running game that he has down there, extending his career. And this is what I'm saying too. I'm not saying Tom Brady, John Elway, Brett Favre, like they're not washed at all. Like these dudes are still studs. It's just if you add these running games to them, you're gonna extend the career. So those are the 3 names I brought up, and I think the same thing could happen with the Steelers.
I wanted to ask you this because Vikesh says this. He doesn't think that Najee Harris is gonna have an impact solely because when you think about what our offense struggles with is protecting the quarterback from a passing standpoint, right? If we're going to do that, he's going to need to throw it a little bit more, right? And with those other guys, Tampa's O-line was really good. We do know that. Even the year where, was it 2018? New England, their line was good. We could go and talk about, who else do we just say? Minnesota. Like, all those teams had good lines. That's the part where people are having a little bit of disconnect in terms of thinking that's going to extend it because we don't know what this O-line is going to look like from a pass blocking standpoint, baby. That's the thing.
Pass blocking.
Yeah,
you just said total.
Well, because in total, you got to think it's not like we're asking, is the offense going to look better? We're saying, is it going to extend Ben's career? That's a different question. Extending his career, he's going to have, he's going to be slinging that rock at a high level for it to continue on, right? And when we say high level, at least where he's at right now, right? So with that being the case, knowing our offensive line situation, if it isn't going to be as good as we think it can be from a pass blocking standpoint, that doesn't help Ben out at all.
Okay, but the run blocking and the running game being there would.
That would help, yes.
And just see, like, our line's young, though, too. You got to consider that. If they can develop, like, if it could be better now and then continue to develop in that passing game, and where the baseline is already, it's above average in the running game, I think it could be good things going forward.
Well, the problem is this, man. When I think about Tampa's line last year, and somebody brought this up in the chat, they said that they talked about AQ Shipley. He actually got some snaps in there center for them, right? The thing was this, bro. During the playoff run, you know what they had that we did not have?
Are you going to say something about JMU?
You better believe it. Their starting guard. Yes, indeed.
Did he
Aaron
start?
Stinney. Yes, for the whole playoffs. Super Bowl champion. Yes. Not only did they have one JMU player, they had three JMU players, all offensive linemen as well. When you have that, that's how you win. So you want to win a Super Bowl, you want Ben to get right, get you a JMU lineman, baby. It's that simple. It's that simple, man. All right.
But I think it can. I mean, listen, Bettis said it. I just gave up some good examples there. If Harris is the running back we're thinking, if the run blocking will improve a decent amount this year,
Bennett
at
said
least.
we the gold standard now, man. He said Najee coming here makes us the gold standard.
I like that. I like the sound of that. So
it sounds good.
I'm gonna agree with that.
I'm hoping he's seeking like just big picture, organizationally like gold standard. I don't know if he was talking like directly gold standard, but I like it though. I like it. I'm with it.
Yeah, so I really do. I think it could be a good thing. I think Ben played well last year, all things considering, with the 33 touchdown stuff. Now, if we improve the run game, we get the run blocking better.
Yeah.
If the pass blocking, I don't know what it's going to be like, because a lot of the times we did pass it really quick, so we didn't get to see the full effects of the pass blocking. We said
that was because of the offensive line, not because of Ben and his arm. So that's the part where
that's what I mean. I think next year it could be lethal, man. If we could add some of those short passing elements that we were doing last year, some of the stuff that Ben knows with this deep ball, increase the running game, the blocking increases. You know, we got studs at receivers. We brought in Pat Fryermuth. Like, this could be a great offense. And that's why I'm thinking, why would Ben want to leave? If he's not getting hurt or anything, this could extend the career.
I'm hoping. I hope that it plays out the way that you.
What do you think? What are you saying? So, 2020. Well, you already think he might be coming back after 2021.
I said that wasn't because of the play element. That was just based on some of these things I'm seeing when I look at Thomas' extension, when I look at this piece and how they have maneuvered this offseason, really not going all in, but at the same time, not fully saying, hey, we're going to punt on this year and prepare for the following years. I feel like Ben is going to be back next year. I do. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be back following after that. I think that he'll be back, though, for this year and next year. I just personally do, man.
But if things are humming like I'm thinking.
If it's going like how you think, it was different. But think about this. None of us started turning on Ben and saying we wanted to get rid of Ben because he was playing great. No. We started saying that because his play showed us that. His play was the reason why we started saying it. Think about the first 11 games. Nobody was talking about Ben being washed. That came up the last 6 games, the playoff game. So for Ben, if he wants us to feel like he could play for the next 20 years, go out there and prove it. Brady, prime example. People talked bad about him that last year in New England. What did he do? He just went and proved it on the road in Tampa. People talked about him the years before that. What did he do? He won multiple rings during that time frame up there. Jimmy G scenario, right? Oh, is this the successor? Bumped him, man. I'm about to go win me 2 more rings up here. You want 7 to be here that long? You want all of us to share in that 7 sentiment like how you do? Well, hey, man, make sure 7 go out there and ball to that extent. Then we don't have to.
And I agree with that. And I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And everything that was going on in this offseason about whether we should have Ben come back or have him retire, whatever. I forget what the conversation was. Let him walk, whatever it was.
Yeah.
My consensus with all that stuff was like, man, there was still stuff I saw. I'm chalking some of that stuff up to just bad games. Like, I thought Buffalo was a bad game. I thought Bengals was a bad game. Browns, him throwing for 500 yards proves that he still has it left in the tank. That's why you give him the other chance to do this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We talked about stat padding earlier, and you already admitted that Cleveland game was stat padded. So don't come here and drop this 500 yards. Talk about that as a positive. But remember, you just said it was stat padded earlier.
But remember, my reasoning for saying that is, dude, not too many people could throw 500 yards. He's still got it left in the tank. First year off this injury, still 33 touchdowns. Like, these were all my reasons for saying, like, you got to give him another chance to prove this.
I'm fine with that.
That was my thing.
I'm fine with him having another chance. I just don't like when you bring up the 500 as like this. Oh, that's the one.
Just for giving him another chance this season. That's the reasoning behind it. I'm not gonna bring it up in his legacy if we're talking about that shit. Like I told you.
I would hope that.
Yeah, there's no because there was. I think 70 of those yards came off like literally the final drive.
No, like seriously, it did, bro.
It was over at that point. 70 or 80 of those yards.
And didn't he get a touchdown during that time frame too?
I think so. Yeah. He dropped 4 touchdowns on him.
Yeah,
not too many people do that.
Go fight.
So, all right. So you're about it. If it plays out, if it plays out.
Like I said, for me this whole time, I didn't want Ben gone until he started playing to that level. When he was playing what we saw at the end of the season, that wasn't good ball. Now, when they said that it was because of the O-line, and they said it was because of the running back, and they said it was because of the coordinator, we came with all these excuses for 7. I said, all right, cool. I'm with it then. If that's the case, I will give him the benefit of the doubt that, yep, it was all 3 of these different variables, and you could throw COVID and whatever else you want to throw in there. But now, all those excuses are out the window. So if this season looks like how the end of last season looked, then yeah, I'm cool. We can move on. But if it looks like the beginning of the season, well, yeah, this is what we want. We already got our guy. We can keep him. It's that simple for me, man.
Yeah. That's one of the things, though. in terms of like the excuses and stuff,
Mhm.
the Washington game, I actually think a lot of those things are valid. Because like I think we missed a goal line touchdown because of our blocking, running game, or whatever it was.
That was
there was legitimately 8 drops in that, like first down, game changing drops. McFarland, I think Deontay had one, Ebron had one.
Yeah.
Like there were really bad ones.
Yeah.
But I think that's when things just started to get weird because we did pass a lot.
Yeah.
I just don't think that loss was on Ben, but a lot of people wanted to point that.
Yeah.
I do think the ones you can't really, like the Bills game, like I said, and the Bengals one, like those just weren't good looks. And then Browns game, I think that was a mix of everything. But Ben didn't play a part in us a winning formula there. I'll put it that way.
I like how you said that.
Colts game though, come on, man. that was a hell of a second half.
I love it. It's all good. Actually, you don't have to sell it to me,
that
man.
was an epic second half.
I'm biased. I love the guy. I just, like I said, just make
once,
it look like how it's supposed to look in 2021, right?
Once Ben caught off Finkner's mic in the second half of that Colts
That's
game.
what it was, right?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, who needs this coordinator, man?
See, he's like boys with Finkner, so he doesn't want to make him feel bad.
I just didn't know that when you have a Hall of Fame franchise GOAT quarterback that he has to only call or has to only run the play that was called. I thought that
he's boys with Finkner. He wants to make him feel good.
I thought it was kind of like Brady and Rodgers and all these other guys who just when you're the best, when you're not even debated top 1 or 2 in the league. I thought you just call what you want to call. That's what I thought.
They were saying this year though. Did you hear about this? That Brady was deferring to Arians on these calls. Like they were trying to work things together here. Like Brady wasn't just gonna go full Patriot system. That's why he started to drop back more like the beginning of the season and take some sacks and make some bad throws and shit. They were just trying to get something familiar.
So what were they running come playoff time though?
They were just running the ball.
They were running Brady's offense. That was Brady's offense.
You think?
Yes. That was.
You would know better than me.
That's Brady. Oh, actually, I'll throw Leftwich. I ain't go. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Shout out B Leftwich. That was B Leftwich. He was making some good calls. There we go.
Okay.
He's coordinator. Give him some love, right?
Yeah, sure.
Give him a little love.
Sure.
And he's former Steeler. Once Steeler, always Steeler. That's what they say. Unless you go to Baltimore. Right?
That stuff was annoying me so much.
Yeah.
That stuff was annoying me so much. How they were talking about the Steeler connection down there. It's like, no, they're not the Steelers. So
they are the Steelers.
They're not the Steelers anymore.
They're the Steelers with Brady. This is what it looks like, guys. But either way, man. Either way, it was good. It was good. So
the bus has something.
Hey, shout out to the bus, man. The bus says it, so it's got to be facts. So I'm with it, man. So I think that is everything for the day, man.
How long was that one,
bro? We are sitting at the 2-hour mark.
Really?
Again, bro. I can't explain this
that
right
flew.
now. We don't even.
I thought that was gonna be like an hour 30, hour 15.
We don't try to do these 2-hour things. Y'all know this, but y'all are always in here vibing with us, so we vibe back with y'all. Shout out to y'all though, man. Y'all have been going crazy in the chat. We made sure we got to the ones we could get to. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, as always. And until next time, baby.
Peace.